and always working to be better.
I've never seen ads on top of the roof where it's helping the community.
This place teaches you to be genuine, to be the same person today as you were yesterday. People from Indiana, they're pretty comfortable with who they are. And you know, I think that puts the people around them at ease to be comfortable with who they are.
The values that built Indiana are here in Strachan Van Til. We're Indiana's grocery store, and we're proud to be Indiana made.
These days, it's recommended that you keep your social circle small. Of course, as the original light beer, we've always recommended that. It's Miller time.
Swing and a miss here by Anderson as the second inning gets underway. The Oilmen a first inning run on the shoulders of a Kane Hedrick home run. Hedrick has been a really nice lift. Here comes the 0-1. This is swung on and popped up foul territory. Paplava is underneath it. He grabs it. That's the first out of the second inning, but he's been a nice lift since joining the Oilmen lineup late in the season, and he's found himself comfortable right in the middle of the Northwest Indiana order.
He's been someone who's just been the perfect fit with the Oilmen since he joined the team in late July, as he brings some tools that the Oilmen didn't necessarily have and just complements the batters around him nicely. And now the Oilmen are hoping to build off what he was able to start today, because we saw last night you don't want to sit on a first-inning lead because no lead is safe in playoff baseball.
Well, speaking of what happened last night, here's the man of the hour. Chris Baker stands in next. He hit one of the most memorable home runs in the history of the Oilmen, and in fact maybe the most memorable moment in the long and proud history of the franchise last night, when he hit a grand slam in the third inning in a playoff game that put the Oilmen ahead. Here's a strike. But it was all the context that goes along with it. Baker, who has been with the team for 4 seasons with a gap in between, the oldest guy on the roster, one of the oldest guys in the league, takes low for a ball here, has become a mentor to some of the younger Oilmen. He told me last night that a lot of the players call him Grandpa, jokingly, and he calls them little kids. Here comes the 2-1. This is taken for a strike, and the count 2-2, and the relationship he's developed with the team and his ability to kind of carry on the Oilman legacy as one of the classic Oilmen, who was a big part of championship teams in 2016 and 18. As backing away here is Baker, time call, and we'll have the 2-2 upcoming. But what a special moment for him to be the one to, in that spot, hit the go-ahead grand slam last night. And as I talked about on the broadcast last night, he also hit a grand slam in his the first pitch he ever saw at Oil City Stadium back in 2016, 6 years ago. There's a pitch low and outside, 3-2.
Especially just with how much Baker has meant for this team all season. He's been someone who's been taking good at-bats. When the Oilmen weren't playing well, he was still turning in good games. And then so for a spot where they were down a bunch, he was able to change the game and put them back on top in a playoff game, really helping the team get that momentum they were needing.
He fouls it away. He added an RBI double that was also big later in the game. That was the next scoring in the game for the Oilmen. That came in the 7th inning, and they eventually broke it open late with crooked numbers in the 8th and 9th. There's the payoff pitch to him. It's taken outside for ball 4. But here Baker works a one-out walk, and that'll bring up Fumagalli.
Especially looking at that game where the Oilmen got the home run or the grand slam from Baker, but then they went until that 7th inning without really recording much contact either, where the Everart for the Vikings did a good job of shutting things down. It became a battle with the bullpen pitchers, and then Baker was able to help break things open, and the Oilmen didn't look back after that.
Fumagalli with Chris Baker at first base and 1 out in the inning. And look out, this is high and inside. It clips him. Hit by a pitch here is Fumo, and he takes his base. And now back-to-back free passes from Troxel, who has walked 2 already and hit 1, and we're only in the 2nd inning. That'll bring up Zarnecki.
It's certainly uncharacteristic from Troxel, so for the Oilmen, you're trying to make him pay for that early. If he's maybe struggling with some command, you want to try to get runners on and do what you did a good job of last night, which was good situational baseball with runners on base, scoring some runs. They did a good job of that in the 8th and the 7th inning last night, so try to tack that on. And it helps having 2 experienced players in Fumagalli and Baker on base, 2 players that have played in championships for the Oilmen previously.
Zarnecki standing in with 2 outs 2 on and 1 out. Here's the set from Troxel in the first pitch. It's taken high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. One nothing in favor of the Oilmen. Here's a pitch taken on the inner half for a ball, 2 balls and no strikes.
Zarnacki was responsible for 2 runs last night as he got on base with 1 hit and reached another way. So he was someone who just about everyone was able to contribute in the scoring for the Oilmen last night. So you're hoping to ride some of that high energy.
Here comes the 2-0. This is taken high for ball 3. 3 balls and 3 balls and no strikes. One nothing in favor of the Oilmen on the Hedrick home run in the first. Here comes the 3-0. This is taken for ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk to Zarnecki. Now 3 straight free passes have loaded him here in inning number 2.
It was a good take there by Zarnacki. Troxel was kind of nibbling around the zone there, going inside on him, going near the top of the strike zone, but Zarnacki just disciplined, took some pitches, and was able to work that walk against one of the league's best hitters, or best pitchers.
Now a mound visit here as the Corn Dog infield will come together, as the Oilmen have been the beneficiary of 3 free passes with 1 away here in the second, and now Cuniff will stand in with the bases loaded and 1 out, and again the Oilmen a 1-0 lead as Hedrick the home run in inning number 1. But to finish up on Baker, I just had that feeling last night when he was stepping up to the plate with the bases loaded and knowing the history of him having that grand slam in his first ever pitch you saw at Oil City, and what a moment that could be. And I referenced that on the air and just had a really good feeling in that spot. Also, the Vikings were kind of running out of Amsden was looking a little shaky. Here's a swing and a miss. It just felt like it could be a big moment like that for the Oilmen in that situation. Now the Oilmen could use another big hit right here as the Corn Dogs are on the ropes a bit, and Troxel has allowed 3 straight free passes to load him up with 1 away. The 0-1 is taken for a strike, and the count 0-2.
The Oilmen had some games early in the season where they did not convert with bases loaded, and that came back to hurt them a whole bunch here. When you're facing your opponent's ace, you have the bases loaded early, you want to try to make sure you can tack on some runs here, make them feel the weight, and just try to make it tougher to come back.
This is taken high for a ball, 1-2. Bases full of Oilmen. 1-0 Oilmen. Here's a swing and a drive to left center. This ball's well hit. This ball is going to split the gap. 1 run is in. Around third, getting the green light is Fumagalli. He will score. Here comes the throw to third. It's not in time, and it's a 2-run double for Josh Cuniff as he stands up at second base, as the Oilmen have put up 3 early runs, and they lead the Corn Dogs 3-0.
That's exactly what the Oilmen needed here against Troxel after he had some walks to load the bases. He just needed a knock to get him in, and Cuniff did a good job of putting that one through the gap. That was one where it was tough for Terry to get to on the warning track, and allowed Fumagalli to come in and score from second base. They are still in a good spot here. Only 1 out in this inning to try to keep adding on to things.
Robinson with runners at second and third. Here's the set from Troxel in the first pitch to the leadoff man, Robinson. It's low for a ball, and the count 1-0.
Robinson joined the team last week, but he shows he can bring a lot of energy at the plate. He's been able to hit for some extra bases, can be aggressive on the base paths, and could really try to make it even more lopsided here in the second inning.
Here comes the 1-0. This is taken low and outside for a ball, 2-0 on Shy. Let's see if Robinson can come through in this spot. Here comes the 2-0. This is swung on and popped up. It is in foul territory. Back on at Johnstone. He's going to run out of room. Two and one. 3-0 the score. Cuniff a run-scoring double that drove in a pair a moment ago. Oilmen have gotten to Ryan Troxel, who's been the ace of the Corn Dogs here early. This is low for a ball. I mean, he put up outstanding numbers in the regular season, but this Oilman team with 3 early ones against him in back of Oilman starting pitcher Silas Noe here in this one.
This where maybe helps that the Oilmen saw Troxel 4 times this year. Obviously, he's still very good, but you know what to expect from him. You know what you're looking for up there.
3-1 is a strike, and we go full at 3-2.
That just is also the unpredictability of playoff baseball, where sometimes the matchup that makes the most sense doesn't always end up happening, where your best player just doesn't have it on that one day, and it's the opponents getting the upper hand.
The payoff pitch is swung on and sent to left. This is pretty well hit. It's going to die out on the warning track. Caught in deep left by Ferry. Tagging is Zarnecki. He will score. Oilmen lead 4-0. A deep sacrifice fly off the bat of Shai Robinson. And the Oilmen have scored 3 times in the second, and they lead Lake County by a 4-0 score.
That's where having extra outs helps give you some time to play with there, as Robinson took that one for a ride pretty deep to left field, but the catch was made by Ferry, but that allowed the runner on third to tag up, score, and the Oilmen just make it a little bit bigger at the plate.
Marshall will stand in and try to keep the rally going here in this second. The Oilmen with some early offense here tonight in Crown Point. Here's the pitch taken for a ball on the count 1-0. And if you go up early, it's even bigger when, again, it's a little bit of a different mindset as only a 7-inning game here tonight.
Yeah, that gives the opponent less time to try to come back. You have fewer outs to work with, so you just want to make sure that you keep adding to this lead.
The 1-0 is bounced to first. It's gloved by Paplava, and taking it to the bag unassisted is Paplava to end the inning. The Oilmen, though, do damage as they score 3 times. On 1 hit, a 2-run double by Cuniff. They had 3 free passes and 1 left on base. We played an inning and a half. It's 4-0 in favor of the Oilmen on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success.
I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted and bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost premium meat.
These natural gas teams use smart app technology to share data from any well instantly, so they can analyze trends and stop potential problems in their tracks, because safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Back we are as we take it to the bottom of inning number 2. Silas Noe on the mound. The Oilmen did have to go to the pen early yesterday, but you get a great outing out of Ostrowski. That helps you get to tonight, which was huge. And you turn to Silas Noe. And for Noe in this spot, he has to feel quite a bit more comfortable than maybe he did last inning now as the lead has grown. And you have a 4-run cushion. That makes you feel a little less pressure in what is a high-pressure moment here in a playoff game. As Hansen stands in, the first pitch from Noe is taken high for ball 1.
And Noe, like most pitchers, seems to produce better when his team gives him run support, so that can help him get a little more comfortable on the mound up there and just focus on attacking these corn dog hitters, knowing his offense has his back.
This is low for a ball, 2 balls and no strikes on Hansen. 4-0 in favor of the Oilmen. 3 in the top of this inning. Oilmen, the visiting team for both games today. They'll be the home team at Oil City if it gets to a third game tomorrow. The 2-0 swing and a miss, 2-1. Noe from Waubonsie Community College, native of Wilmette, Illinois, a 2020 New Trier product, 6'4", 160 for the right-hander. The Corn Dogs, a dominant force all season long, and the Oilmen trying to knock off the top seed in this championship series, and a good start with 4 early runs.
The Oilmen just trying to show that in playoff baseball, the seeds don't really matter. Everybody's record is 0-0 when the year starts, and for the Oilmen, trying to capture this first game could be huge for them as you're facing your opponent's ace. And if you could get to the bullpen early in this game, that could also make things more advantageous. If that burns some pitching that the Corn Dogs are planning to use in game 2, you could really try to capture that one.
This is inside for ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count on Hansen. Noe put up a 0 in the first, trying to get the leadoff man here at inning number 2. Here's the payoff pitch. It's taken outside for ball 4. Noe walks Hansen to begin the second inning.
Good job by Hansen there, working the count full and then not getting fooled by that pitch breaking away from the plate, as Noe just missed his spot there, and Hansen did not help him out.
It'll be the right fielder Hayden Madalik will come up next. We've seen him around the league for quite some time. He lifts this one to right, over, and this one goes out of play. The count 0-1. Actually, it was technically in play, but so far over that it would have been impossible to make a play. And it goes to no balls and 1 strike.
That one could have been trouble if it was a few feet more to the left, as that was dropping, and you had Fumagalli in right field, who's normally played infield this season for the Oilmen, so that may take him a little bit of time to get acclimated out there, as he's playing a corner outfield position today.
Madalik standing in. Here comes the 0-1. This is taken for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. A few things we still want to hit on regarding last night. I was starting to really get into my storytelling about the Baker Grand Slam, but then this game started to get very exciting. Here's a swing and a miss in the count 1-2. But not only did I kind of see it coming, but Chris Baker told me he saw it coming as well last night, as when he was in the on-deck circle and Anderson was batting before him, and I think he went to a full count, and there were runners at second and third at that time. He had a feeling that he was going to get up and he was going to hit a grand slam. It is what he told me, and lo and behold, it played out that way.
That's pretty awesome, too, just knowing that he had that confidence, that that was the expectation, and he was able to deliver on it, that he saw a pitch he liked and was able to bring that expectation into a reality.
This is low and in for a ball. I asked Chris if he remembered the grand slam against the Michigan City Lakers on that first pitch back in 2016. Of course, before it was the question was even out of my mouth, he was reminding me every detail. You don't forget hitting a grand slam. Here's the 2-2, ground through the right side. This is a base hit. Nice piece of hitting by Madalik as he grounds it through the right side of the infield. Back-to-back Corn Dog base runners here in the first, and they threaten with Jacob Ferry, a former Oilman, to next.
This is the start they needed after the Oilmen put up a crooked number in the last inning. Getting aggressive right away, putting base runners on before you've surrendered it out helps you with some options here, because now a sacrifice fly could advance some runners. You could even try to get a bunt in play here, as you have some room to work with here.
Continuing the rally for the Corn Dogs, number 27.
Now Jacob Ferry, as we talked about, will be the next Corn Dog at the dish. Runners at first and second for Lake County against Silas Noe. Noe again facing these Corn Dogs for the first time this year. Here comes the first pitch. It's outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 4 early runs for the Oilmen in what is only a 7-inning game. 1 ball and no strikes, the count on Ferry. Here's the set from Noe and the 1-0. Swinging a crush foul right side, and this is well out of play, and now the count 1-1.
Noe just has to do what he can do to try to get an out here. Just focus on putting pitches in the strike zone. His command still looks solid here, but he was just missing on that 1 walk. And then he had one that Matulich really got a piece of.
The 1-1 is popped up to right. Underneath it is Fumagalli, and the catch is made. Tagging from second is Hansen. The throw is going to be cut off. So Hansen moves up 90 feet, but the Oilmen do get the first out of the inning. An important out, as now 1 away with runners at first and third.
And that was big about the Corn Dogs not having any outs there, as you had the option to try to play for a sacrifice fly, as Ferry wasn't able to get that one to drop, but he was able to advance the runner nonetheless. And we'll watch now with these first couple pitches. Maybe expect them to try to send Matulich to second base to take away the chance for a double play.
Paplava will stand in with runners at first and third. Here's the first pitch. It's taken high for a ball, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on Daniel Paplava. Oilmen in front by 4. Noe falls behind 1 ball, no strikes. Paplava hit .302 in the regular season, 1 home run and 7 runs driven in. Here's the 1-0 to him. This is swung on and popped up. It's playable. It is in front of home plate and able to make the catch in foul territory as the catcher Cuniff. Paplava never left the batter's box area, and that is the second out of the second inning.
Good job by Cuniff to try to track that one down, as it originally looked like he ran into the batter a little bit, so that could maybe mess things up, but he was able to find it under the sky and was able to retire number 2, so that helps the Oilmen a ton here, as you were getting out there without even the base runners attempting to run.
Now Nicholas Johnstone will come up to the plate next, the left-handed batting catcher for the Corn Dogs. Runners at first and third with 2 down. How about that? Get back-to-back outs there. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And a nice job by Noe to retire back-to-back men. And now the inning rests on the shoulders of the Corn Dog catcher.
Especially when you get multiple runners on to start off an inning, that can sometimes get in a pitcher's head. But he was just able to settle down on the mound and just continue his approach towards the plate and throwing good stuff in there.
Swing and a miss by Johnstone. No balls and 1 strike. 4-0 in favor of the Oilmen. They score a run in the first and 3 in inning number 2. And we'll keep reminding you throughout the game, this is only a 7-inning contest. 0-1 the count. Here's the next offering. Swinging a check swing. Bouncer past the mound. Shortstop Zebig fields it. He steps on second. There's the force. And that is the inning. 6 unassisted on the fielder's choice for the third out of the frame. And the Corn Dogs do not score despite threatening in the second. They get the no runs on 1 hit and leave 2. We've played 2. It's 4-0 in favor of the Oilmen on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Don't go to the office. We build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Have a student headed to college this fall? If so, you probably have questions, and the best place to find answers is Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech is in your community and offers hundreds of options. Best of all, our tuition is a fraction of the cost of other colleges. Complete a free application today.
Safety doesn't come in a box. It's not a banner that goes on a wall. It's not something you do now and then, or when it's convenient. It's using state-of-the-art simulators to better prepare for any situation. It's giving offshore teams onshore support, and it's empowering anyone to stop a job if something doesn't seem right. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Back at Legacy Fields in Crown Point. We've played 2 innings, and it's 4-0 in favor of the Oilmen. We want to say hello to a few young and important Oilmen fans tuning in that they're sad they're not at the ballpark tonight. Brooks and Collins Enright, the 2 young children of Oilman manager Adam Enright, and hello to Adam's wife Kimmy as well. We know they're cheering on their dad tonight, Brooks and Collins. They wish they could be here at Legacy Fields in Crown Point, but instead they are listening to us tonight, and it's a big game for a lot of Oilman fans, those 2 included.
Absolutely, as so many people cheering on the Oilmen that have been able to make it out to the ballpark all year. The Oilmen were able to extend this season by another day and are hoping to finish it with some hardware.
It'll be Kane Hedrick who had the big swing of today's game so far, the home run to left in the first inning to lead off this frame, and here's a first pitch strike to him to begin the third. No balls and a strike on Hedrick. Well, this is the first ever championship series between 2 managers who have previously won Northern League titles. This is swung on and cracked to center. This is pretty well hit off the bat of Hedrick, but it's going to hang up there for Terry, who makes the catch for the first out of the third inning, as Adam Enright owns 2 Northern League titles, guiding the Oilmen to the 2016 and 2018 crowns, while it was Justin Heisman who was in charge of the Oilmen and is managing against his former team tonight from 2012 to 2014, and he won what was then the Midwest Collegiate League and now the Northern League title back in 2012. So in this league, the only managers, here's the first pitch, a strike, that own multiple league titles are Chris Cunningham, who won league titles back-to-back in 2013 and 14 with the Southland Vikings, and Adam Enright. And Justin Heisman's trying to join that club, while Adam Enright's trying to become the first to 3. Here's a swinging bunt along third. The throw to first is going to be not in time. It's a base hit. The third baseman, Hansen, had to charge in and barehanded. Zebig reaches on an infield single, and the Oilmen have one on with one away here in inning number 3.
Maybe not the way Zebig would have drawn it up, but that one was just enough to get down the line at third base, and it stopped rolling, forcing Hansen to charge in on it, and Zebig was just able to leg it out down the line and get there safely and give the Oilmen a chance here with a man on base.
Now it's Nick Anderson standing in next. But Adam Enright trying to become the, speaking of Adam, as we talked about his family coming out of break, a note about him tonight, he's trying to become the first person to win 3 league championships as a manager in this league. Here's ball 1.
Probably something in the back of his mind right now, thinking about personal gain. He's probably just thinking what he can do to get the Oilman championship, doing it for the players right now, but that certainly would be sweet for him.
Swinging a foul out of play right side, and the count 1-1. And then while we're on the managerial storylines, of course, have to mention that Adam Enright was on Justin Heisman's coaching staff, first here with the Oilmen, and then eventually at Trinity Christian College. Adam's now the head coach there. Here comes the 1-1, a check swing and a called strike. So it's quite the matchup tonight with 2 people who are very familiar with one another in opposing dugouts. This is low and in for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Those two certainly seem as if they spent tons of time together. They know each other's ins and outs, so that can add to the chess match that it comes between managers, as they know what the other might be thinking, and it just comes down to who's got one more trick up their sleeve to try to win this trophy.
2-2, the count on Anderson. Lead at first for Zebig, and the 2-2 pitch, swinging a tapper foul, and the count remains 2-2. A best 2 out of 3 series, beginning with a doubleheader with 2 7-inning games tonight in Crown Point, and if necessary, the series will shift back to Oil City Stadium for a third and decisive game at 7:10 tomorrow evening. Leo and I will have all 3 games for you. Here comes the 2-2, swinging a foul at the plate, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice job by Noe in that second inning. He had to work out of trouble, and he did it nicely, retiring 3 straight. Here comes the 2-2, swinging a foul off to the right out of play.
And that has to be a big confidence booster, not just for Noe, but for Adam Enright too, seeing that your starting pitcher was in a little bit of trouble there with 2 men on before recording his first out, but he's able to work out of that jam, didn't get worried when there was a runner on third base, and just kept focusing on the batter at the plate and was able to get those 3 outs.
2-2 is swung on and popped up. This is playable in foul territory, and unable to make the catch is the first baseman, Paplava. This is going to be E3. So E3 on a dropped foul will extend the at-bat here.
The Oilmen saw a similar situation last night where the Vikings catcher dropped a ball or missed a ball in foul territory, and then on the very next pitch, the Oilman batter was able to record a hit. So that could be something where you get second life in an at-bat you try to take advantage of.
2-2 the count on Anderson. Here's the pitch on the way, and this is going to be strike 3. Out on strikes is Anderson, so he can't cash in on the new life. So no harm, no foul with Paplava committing the error, and now Baker will stand in with 2 outs and a runner on first.
Looked like Anderson committed too late to try to swing on that one, as he just kind of had almost a half swing as the ball was already in the catcher's glove by the time he was breaking the plane there for strike 3.
Swing in a foul here at the plate, and the count 0-1 on Chris. Chris Baker, again the hero last night, standing in. And he's seeking professional opportunities, and he's making a strong case for one of those opportunities here very, very soon based on the way he's been playing.
Especially just the way he's been such a consistent player down the stretch for the Oilmen. In times where they were struggling to get offense going early in the year, he was always giving them a chance.
Here he swings and lifts one in the air to right. This is well hit. This ball is going to be foul, just foul. Chris Baker thought this was a home run. He reacted in the same way he did last night during the Grand Slam, but it was foul and just shy of home run distance down the right field line.
Baker got some good wood on that one, but it just wasn't in the right spot. He clearly wanted all of that one, saw a pitch he liked, and now he just has to try to get back in the box and try to get a similar result, but in fair territory.
Baker is just recovering from a hand injury, too, and that makes it even more impressive. Battling through that injury over the last couple of weeks and now getting back on track. Adam Enright likes him lower in the lineup. He's been hitting 6th because he likes the RBI opportunities that he's getting in this spot in the order and helping turn the lineup over in a positive manner. Here's the 1-2. This is swung on and fouled out of play, but kind of a unique strategy to have Baker 6th, but it has been made possible by how good guys like Robinson and Marshall and Hedrick and Zebig, Anderson in front of him have been.
And I think that's big that players were able to develop as the season went on. Someone like Jack Zebig, who just finished his high school career, is now someone you can confidently put at the front of the order, so now you can rely on Baker to try to knock him in.
Runner goes 1-2 low and outside, throw to second, not going to get him. It's a stolen base for Zebig, and now a runner in scoring position with 2 down.
And just having Baker later in the lineup makes it even more dangerous. As you know, earlier in the year, it was a lot of times where he was getting on base, but the guys behind him weren't able to do anything and knock him in. Now when you have him coming up, when guys are getting on base, it just is a huge threat and makes it a little tougher on that pitcher too, knowing the caliber of player you're facing up there.
2-2 on Baker. The lead at second for Zebig. And the break even. This is swung on and cracked towards second. Fielded on a few bounces by Noble. He lobs it to first in time, and the inning ends. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left for the Oilmen in the third. We played 2.5. It's the Oilmen leading the Corn Dogs 4-0 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
I've never seen ads on top of the roof where it's helping the community.
This place teaches you to be genuine, to be the same person today as you were yesterday. People from Indiana, they're pretty comfortable with who they are. And you know, I think that puts the people around them at ease to be comfortable with who they are.
The values that built Indiana are here in Strachan Van Til. We're Indiana's grocery store, and we're proud to be Indiana made.
These days, it's recommended that you keep your social circle small. Of course, as the original light beer, we've always recommended that. It's Miller time.
Safety doesn't come in a box. It's not a banner that goes on a wall. It's not something you do now and then, or when it's convenient. It's using state-of-the-art simulators to better prepare for any situation. It's giving offshore teams onshore support, and it's empowering anyone to stop a job if something doesn't seem right. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
And back we are as Silas Noe is back out for his third inning of work. The Oilmen 4 runs of support for him. He'll have to face the top of the Corn Dogs order. It's Terry, Noble, and Schultz in this inning. And we'll see if the Oilmen can keep the positive mojo going here, as it's been a very strong start for Northwest Indiana.
And if the Oilmen, they can try to remember how last night's game went, where a team was up early, but let their opponent back into it. So you want to make sure you're not on that same end where you were in the spot the Vikings were in last night. You want to make sure you keep the foot on the gas and keep distancing yourself. Keep up this good pitching from Noe as well.
Here comes the pitch taken low and inside for a ball, 1 ball, and no strikes. Noe has put 2 zeros on the board to this point. He's going after Terry with the 1-0 pitch, swinging a pop fly toward left. It's pretty well hit, but it's playable in left. That's where Hedrick is waiting for it and gloves it for the first out of the third.
It was big for Noe to just get that first out on a well-hit ball. That was one. If it dropped, it could have been trouble. Hedrick was able to get under it. And we saw Noe last inning let a couple get base runners on before recording that first out. Different story this time around as he was able to get the leadoff man out. And Terry's a dangerous player, so getting him not having him on base is a good way to start this inning.
Noble with one out and the base is clear. He singled his first time. And here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss. Pitchers duel last night for Lake County. We talked a lot about how the Oilmen got in a 14-5 victory that required them to come from a 5-0 hole early. That was the Oilmen over the Southland Vikings. But here it was 3-1 last night as the Corn Dogs held on and beat the Generals. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a bouncer foul left side. Justin Heisman was quoted after saying it was more of a pro strike zone in the pitcher's duel, and guys adjusted to that last night. And the Corn Dogs came out on top.
Good start for them by Ivan Balboa, striking out 4, allowing no runs over 6 innings.
This is low and outside for a ball. We had maybe assumed that Ryan Troxel would pitch last night, so that was hugely advantageous that they got through last night without Troxel. However, the Oilmen have done some damage against the very talented ace of the Corn Dogs so far here tonight. Here comes the 1-2. This is low and in for a ball, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And quite honestly, you feel like if the Oilmen can win this first game with Troxel going, it's going to give you a huge advantage to win this series. Here's the 2-2. This is swung on and lifted in the air to right center. It's going to be caught by Fumagalli in right center for the second out of the inning. Back-to-back outs to begin the third.
And that is something that you have to consider, facing Troxel in Game 1, knowing that you might have to face another good arm in Game 2. But so if you can get this, try to get a win against their top arm, that really sets you up well to match with the counterpunch that you're sure the Corn Dogs are going to have in Game 2.
Tyler Schultz with 2 outs and the base is clear. Noe trying to work a 1-2-3 against the top 3 in the Corn Dogs batting order. This is a Lake County team in its inaugural season in the league. They finished the regular season at 35-11. And they got the better of the Oilmen, to be honest with you, during the season series. Here's a pitch taken for a ball, the count 1-0, as Lake County won 8 of the 11 meetings between these two teams, and all 3 Oilmen wins were 1-run wins, including a pair of walk-offs at Oil City Stadium. Here comes the 1-0 to Schultz, swing and a miss, and the count 1-1.
And the Corn Dogs a couple of times came in Oil City and really just gave the Oilmen a big loss. A couple of games where they just looked overmatched at times. They were able to get to Matt Lolito on Veteran Military Appreciation Night and just make that game a little lopsided.
Here's the 1-1, swing and a miss. One thing that Adam Enright pointed out last night is kind of the mixing and matching over the course of the summer, how in summer ball you're not going to have your A lineup out there each and every night, and it's the grind of the summer. And he really thinks the record and the regular season performance don't tell the story of how good this team is. Here's the 1-2, low and outside. And he thinks last night's game against the Vikings paints a clearer picture of how good and talented this roster can be. And so far, so good here tonight as well.
Especially that was maybe one of the first times we've seen the Oilmen put together their A lineup, and they all just seem to be clicking, picking up after one another against the Vikings.
2-2, high and outside for ball 3. We go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big payoff coming up as Noe toes the rubber. Here's the set, and it's 3-2 to Schultz. This is swung on and popped up in foul territory. Cunniff is going to run out of real estate, and the count remains full at 3-2.
Good job by Schultz, just getting a piece of that one on the payoff pitch, forcing Noe to have to go to another pitch here with the count at its maximum to try to get him out at the plate and just extend this at bat.
3-2 on Schultz. Nice warm day, warmer than last night at Oil City was. It was in the low 70s last night. It was in the low 80s at game time here tonight for the start of this twin bill between the Oilmen and top-seeded Lake County Corn Dogs. Here comes the payoff pitch to Schultz. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tag applied by Cunniff to make it official. Noe works a 1-2-3 third inning. We have played 3. Leo will have it for you when we come back. It's the Oilmen 4 and the Corn Dogs nothing on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Beach is just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Light. Well-mouthed desert meet ice-cold beer. Mountain cold refreshment. Let's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home, the ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world, keep America's railroads on the right track, help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
Back we are for the start of inning number 4. It is still Troxel on the mound for the Corn Dogs. He'll be facing Fumagalli, Zarnacki, and Cuniff, the 1-2-3 for the Oilmen. The Oilmen have been able to get off to a good start here, leading 4-0, but when we've seen there's the only thing predictable about playoff baseball is that it's unpredictable, as the Oilmen were able to rally from down 5 last night, so they are looking to pad their lead a little bit more, as there is still a lot of baseball left to be played today, as we're playing, as we've mentioned all night, a scheduled 7-inning doubleheader to start off the series. So you want to chase Troxel here, force him to have to throw a lot of pitches, put up some runs, and try to get a Game 1 victory.
Yeah, no doubt. If you can win this first game, it would go a long way toward winning this series. And I think it's even magnified based on having to beat the Corn Dog ace. It's maybe the toughest matchup of the entire series. You have yourselves out to a 4-0 lead. But as we saw last night, in this entire league, no lead is safe, and all of the teams have the ability to come from behind.
This is the first pitch to Fumagalli, is chopped over to second base. Going for it is Noble. Throws over first in time to get him out 4-3.
Yeah, this was almost a hit for Fumagalli. He hit it off the end of the bat, very weakly hit, so it made it kind of a tough play for Noble because he had to charge in on it and also move to his left, but he was able to get there and make the play successfully to retire Fumo.
They'll bring Oilman designated hitter Kyle Zarnacki in the box here, facing Troxel. He walked, came around and scored in the first inning, and that was his first at-bat in the second inning. That inning, the Oilman had 2 walks and a hit by pitch, as the first pitch to Zarnacki is called a strike. All 3 of those runs came back to score, and we've talked about it. That's something that Amenright emphasizes all season, is how much walks can come back to hurt you, and that was the case for Troxel in the second inning. As the next pitch, low for a ball, as the Oilmen were able to score 3 runs on just the 1 hit and then a sacrifice fly by Robinson. Count 1-1 to Zarnacki at the plate. It's a righty-on-righty matchup here as Troxel fires towards the plate. That one is taken for ball 2.
Yeah, I think it shows the value of extra base hits. 2 key extra base hits tonight for the Oilmen. The home run by Hedrick and the 2-run double by Cuniff.
And Troxel's 2-1 pitch is a swing and a miss for strike 2. That was something at parts of the season the Oilmen were struggling to do, was hit for extra bases. They had to try to play more small ball manufacture runs, but now seeing the A lineup kind of being configured, they're able to hit for some extra bases. We saw the grand slam last night, another home run tonight. And next pitch, this one's sent out to left field by Zarnacki, but Ferry will be able to play it and makes the catch for out number 2. So now it all falls on Josh Cuniff here with 2 outs, nobody on, to try to extend the 4th inning for the Oilmen. This could be big for Troxel here if he's able to work a 1-2-3 inning, keep the pitch count low, and put another 0 up on the board, as the Oilmen scored in the first 2 innings, but were scoreless in the 3rd and are potentially on the verge of doing that here in the 4th. So now Troxel gets set on the mound for the first pitch to Cuniff. Pumps in a strike to the right-hander. Start the set bat 0-1. Cuniff had that 2 RBI double back in the second inning. Oilmen have just recorded 1 hit since then. Singled by Ziebig in the 3rd inning. Troxel's 0-1 pitch is sent over to shortstop. Schultz will field it, throw over to first, and the catch will be made for out number 3. So the Oilmen come up in 1-2-3 fashion, and they head back that same way. Troxel's able to put up the 0 on the board for the Corn Dogs. They will try to get some runs back when we come back for the bottom of the 4th inning on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
You hire certified electrician contractors, you're getting the best. But just as important as our skill and expertise is our culture of safety. We know it's important to you, and we know it's important to them. Certified Electrician represents the Niecras IBEW team, a team where safety and productivity go hand in hand. It's why our jobs finish on time and on budget. It's why owners that use us are repeat customers. Certified Electrician, working together, powering Northwest Indiana.
Wait! Let me help! Lando Frost! Premium meat! Delicious! And no byproducts!
Toss it in.
Et moi?
Okay.
Whee!
Make the smart choice. Lando Frost Premium Meat.
Yes!
When it comes to Sunday, choose the right couch. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller time.
We're getting ready to start the bottom of the fourth inning here at Legacy Fields, where the Northwest Indiana Oilmen lead the Lake County Corn Dogs by a score of 4-0. And it's still Silas Noe on the mound for the Oilmen. Noe was able to work a quick 1-2-3 inning in the third, and that could potentially set him up to go deeper into this game, as he was really in control of his pitches.
Yeah, at this point in the season, pitching depth on both sides is an important factor. Which team is going to have more pitching depth in this series? And especially if there is a split today and it goes back to a third game, every inning you can get out of someone goes a long way, and it helps you in Game 2 tonight as well if you can do your best to keep the pitch count at a minimum and keep Noe on the mound going deep in the ball game. So it's been good to see, and good to see the type of efficiency he has had in this game to this point, Leo.
Noe through 3 innings, just allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, striking out 2. That's the other big factor, is that he only has the 2 strikeouts, 1 in the first, 1 in the third, is he's being able to get players out without having the swing and miss type throws.
Right, that helps with efficiency of you leftover power guys, but sometimes pitching to contact can make a long outing happen.
First pitch to Mattheis is outside for ball 1. Mattheis, the designated hitter for the Corn Dogs tonight, was a ground-out victim his first time up. Noe just trying to continue putting zeros up on the board. Someone that had some up and down starts this year, but when he's been on his game, he's been one of the more underrated pitchers of the Oilman staff. So that one just misses. Is called ball 2, makes it a 2-0 count.
Believe he actually had to rearrange some travel plans to make sure he could be here and pitch tonight when the Oilmen got to this championship series and needed him.
His 2-0 pitch is called a strike, and that just speaks about what he was able to do to make himself available for the team, as he's been someone Adam Enright's really relied on later down the stretch this season. Someone who's been here, has been able to take up some innings in the rotation. Maybe someone you didn't count on at the start of the year, but certainly are relying upon a bunch now. As Mattheis checks on that one, the appeal over to first base, they will say he did not go all the way, so that will make it a 3-1 count.
Yeah, he has really solid numbers. He's had a very solid season for the Oilmen. And this Oilman team, at times during the year, the offense was struggling. They've seemed to have really picked it up offensively late in the season, but the pitching's been fairly consistent. This has been a solid Oilman pitching staff up and down the staff most of the season.
Noe's 3-1 pitch is called strike 2. That will send the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And yet the pitching really carried the Oilmen through some slumps at times this season where the offense wasn't producing, wasn't hitting for extra bases. You were able to rely on some solid pitching from the starters. And now the payoff pitch from Noe, that's high for ball 4. So that will start this inning off with a walk. The third of the day, or the second of the day for the Corn Dogs.
The Corn Dogs also worked a leadoff walk in the second inning. Those, of course, sometimes can be problematic, but Noe was able to work around it that time with no issues. Scott Hansen, who drew that walk and who's standing up to the plate now, was eventually left stranded at third.
That was a real good bounce back few at-bats from Noe there, as he was able to ferry to fly out, and Pablava fly out in foul territory. So there's a first pitch strike, or a first pitch ball, and then he was able to get Johnstone grounding out to short and eliminate the threat there. So he's hoping for a similar fate here as he fires in the 1-0. That's in the dirt to make it a 2-0 count. Hansen in the box right now. Matulich is on deck and Ferry in the hole. There's some experienced hitters for the Oilmen, players that have played in the former Midwest Collegiate League, now Northern League. As there's a stoppage as Adam Enright comes out to the mound to talk to his starting pitcher.
Yeah, he sees a walk, and then Noe falls behind 2 balls and no strikes, and he recognizes this is a time to go out and have a word with him. The Oilmen do have action in the bullpen down the right field line.
We saw there was a spot in that July 26th game for Noe against the Vikings where the bases were loaded with 2 outs, and then Enright came out to the mound, had a visit, and he was able to get his first strikeout of the game at that point, and then pitched really solid after that. So sometimes with certain pitchers, they respond well to that mound visit, and Noe might be one of those guys where Enright's able to recognize something he's doing or not doing mechanically that he's able to modify up there, and so head back to the dugout, and he gets ready to face Hansen with a 2-0 count.
Managing or any sort of in-game coaching is all about timing, right? When's it the right time to go to the mound? When's it the right time to make that pitching change? You don't want to do it too early. You don't want to do it too late. Or when's it the right time to put on a certain play in a game? So getting a feel for the timing of a game is such a big part of coaching, and he recognized that this was a good time to make his way out to the mound and calm things down for Noe.
Now he gets set and fires a swing and miss for strike 1 there. He was able to get Hansen to swing over an off-speed pitch there. I mentioned the Oilmen have activity in the bullpen. That could be something you're considering where you're up 4, your pitcher's doing well, but sometimes as the next pitch is low for ball 3, sometimes you want to get that next arm up and throwing to make sure you don't leave Noe out there too long to the point where he starts to fade and the Corn Dogs are able to tack on some runs against him. Count 3-1. Noe in jeopardy of making back-to-back walks as he's able to work a swing and miss from Hansen to make this count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And he's been excellent so far, but it's all about anticipating when is the right moment. Say it's been a great day and it's time to turn it over to somebody else, but so far so good for Silas Noe.
So Noe prepares for his payoff pitch here. The runner on first base is Matthijs. And this one is lined over to Ziebig. It pops off his glove and rolls out to center field. That'll be a hard-hit single for Hansen there, as Ziebig looked like he maybe had a chance to play, but he was only able to put the glove in the way of it and redirect it out to Baker in center field.
Yeah, hot smash off the bat of Hansen. And Ziebig, boy, had an opportunity to collect this line drive and potentially turn a double play, but instead it hits off his mitt, but just a scorched ball off the bat of Hansen that goes as a base hit. And now the Corn Dogs with a big-time threat here with 2 on and nobody out.
Corn Dogs with one of their biggest spots of the day. They have Matthijs on second base, Hansen on first. It's Matulich in the box here. First pitch from Noe. That one is taken for ball 1.
Just to avoid clipping him there, Leo was inside. He was able to back away from it.
This is where you want to avoid letting the moment get too big for you on the mound. You just want to focus, get strikes in there as Noe gets this one towards the plate. That gets between the legs of the catcher, Cuniff, and that will allow both base runners to advance. So the count goes to 2-0. On the pass ball, the runners are able to get to third and second, so you have 2 men in scoring position without an out for the Oilmen.
Yeah, now wild pitch following the walk and the single, and for the Corn Dogs did mount a bit of a threat in the second inning with 2 on and nobody out, but this is an even bigger threat with 2 on and they're in scoring position with nobody out.
So after the Oilmen put up a couple zeros in the third and the fourth, the Corn Dogs are looking to cut back into this deficit. They trail 4-0. Noe gets ready for his pitch, fires it towards the box. This one's grounded over to Ziebig at short. He just throws over to first, gets the first out. A runner will come in and score from third. That's Matthijs. So the Corn Dogs are on the board here, but the Oilmen get their first out of the 4th inning.
Well, that wild pitch proves huge, as that could have been a double play, and you'd be talking about 2 outs, a runner at third, and nobody in. Instead, it's 1 out and a runner at third with a run in the bank, as the Corn Dogs stay out of the double play thanks to the advancement. But still, given the score, a smart play by the Oilmen to have the infield back, and a smart play by Ziebig to go to first and get the sure out as Matulik gets the RBI.
So that'll bring the former Oilman Jacob Ferry in the box here with a runner on third base. That's Hansen and just 1 out. His team trails 4-1. First pitch to Ferry is taken for ball 1. And that was a smart throw by Ziebig, not to overcomplicate things. Just go to first base where the easiest play was. Just getting out, he allowed the run, but you can live with that while you're still up by 3. Now Noe fires the 1-0 pitch. That's in the dirt for ball 2. Kind of keeps it in front of him and keeps the runner at third. The count goes to 2-0. So Noe facing Ferry here. Ferry was a flyout victim his last time up. He was able to advance the base runner from second to third as he flew out to Fumagalli in right field. And then the next pitch is low for a ball. We'll go 3-0. Noe unable to locate the strike zone so far against Ferry.
Yeah, big pitch for him here as we got the first out of the inning. There are bases open, but the last thing you want to do is issue a 4-pitch walk in this spot with a 3-run lead.
The Oilmen still lead by 3 here, but the runner on deck would represent the tying run if Ferry's able to get on base, so you don't want to walk him. And now Noe sends the 3-0 pitch. That one is called ball 4, kind of tries to frame it, but to no luck. So that will be a 4-pitch walk to Ferry, and we'll put runners on the corners with just the 1 out.
Adam Enright's going to make a pitching change here, Leo, as he makes his way to the mound, so we'll step aside. We'll come back with the continuation of this 4th inning. Runners at first and third, 1 run in, and the day's done for the starter, Silas Noe. Back to tell you about the new Oilman arm after this on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success.
I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted, bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost premium meat.
Safety doesn't come in a box. It's not a banner that goes on a wall. It's not something you do now and then, or when it's convenient. It's using state-of-the-art simulators to better prepare for any situation. It's giving offshore teams onshore support, and it's empowering anyone to stop a job if something doesn't seem right. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better. BP's natural gas teams use smart app technology to share data from any well instantly, so they can analyze trends and stop potential problems in their tracks, because safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
It'll be Jack Niecras on the mound for the Oilmen. The right-hander from Riverside, Illinois, will come to the mound. His regular season stats read as this, as he was 4 wins, no losses on the season, and earned run average just above 6 in 14 appearances, logging 25 1/3 innings for the Oilmen, striking out 15 batters while walking 14. But he really seemed to come into his own as one of Adam Enright's more trusted relievers at the end of the season.
Yeah, no doubt, and this shows it right here. What more proof do you need? And he's the guy that he wants to insert in this spot with the tying run at the plate, runners at first and third, 4th inning of only a 7-inning game, and he takes over for Noe, who was solid but ran into a jam here in this 4th. 1 run in, the second walk of the inning a moment ago. And this shows you the confidence that the Oilman staff has in Niecras that he has summoned in this situation.
Niecras was able to go multiple innings several times throughout the year. His longest appearance was July 25th, as that one misses for ball 1, where he went 5 innings against the Panthers. He comes in a spot now with Ferry on first base and Hansen on third, just 1 out. Facing Daniel Puplava. He pumps in a strike there to make it a 1-1 count. Puplava flew out to the catcher his last time up in that 2nd inning. So here comes the 1-1. And it's called strike 2, that pitch breaking away. It's a different type of approach on the mound from Niecras, as he has a bit of a quicker delivery than Noe, so that could be harder for batters to time up. As that was 1-2. That one gets away just for a ball 2, makes it a 2-2 count. Puplava took that one and lives to fight another pitch, evens the count at 2-2 with the 1 out here. There are 2 men on base for the Corn Dogs. Now he'll call time at the plate. Step out here. So now he'll settle back on the mound. Fires this one, put in the air, foul. This will go out of play into the parking lot here. So Puplava will get to take another one from Niecras.
And Niecras, four-seam fastball, two-seamer, that's a sinker. He has a splitter as well, along with a cutter. So quite the repertoire. We can see some of it on display here right away as he's come in the game.
He's as good at locating strikes as this one is put into the gap in right center. Fumagalli will cut it down, make the grab for out number 2, throws towards the plate. It's off the mark, so the Corn Dogs will score a run as Hansen was able to get in there safely. Ferry stays at first. The Corn Dogs score a run despite making the out there. Fumagalli did a good job of cutting that one. It looked like it was ticketed for the gap, but he was able to cut down some ground and make the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, an excellent play to get to there and make the catch in right center by Fumagalli. And he threw wildly to the plate, kind of halfway between first base and the plate, tried to knock it down, couldn't, but it bounced right back to him, and there was no harm on that as Hansen was going to score anyway. He scores on the sac fly, and holding it first on the play was Jacob Ferry.
And just like that, the Corn Dogs have cut this deficit in half in this inning as they only trail 4-2. This is where that early cushion helps the Oilmen. As now the next pitch to Johnstone is grounded over to second base. Robinson throws over to first in time for out number 3. The Corn Dogs get themselves on the board in this inning. They put a pair up against the Oilmen. They chased Noe out of the game. And we're through 4 here at Legacy Fields, and it's the Oilmen 4, the Corn Dogs 2. We'll be back with the 5th inning on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
I've never seen ads on top of the roof where it's helping the community.
This place teaches you to be genuine, to be the same person today as you were yesterday. People from Indiana, they're pretty comfortable with who they are. And I think that puts the people around them at ease to be comfortable with who they are.
The values that built Indiana are here in Strachan Van Til. We're Indiana's grocery store, and we're proud to be Indiana made.
These days, it's recommended that you keep your social circle small. Of course, as the original light beer, we've always recommended that. It's Miller time.
Back at Legacy Fields with Leo Stada, Herb Branovic back with you. David Bork is producing, and he's with us as well. We go to inning number 5 of a 7-inning game, and it's 4-2 in favor of the Oilmen. Corn Dogs get 2 runs in that last half inning. They're charged to Silas Noe. You can close the book on him. 2 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs they were earned. He walks 3 and strikes out 2. But a nice job by Jack Niecras to come in and limit the damage. That was a crucial appearance for Niecras in that spot.
And Niecras did everything you needed him to do up there, coming in with runners on base. The last thing you wanted was for things to get out of hand there, and he was able to do what he could, limit the damage, and get some good outs.
4-2 the score in favor of the Oilmen. Now you'd love to tack on here. You saw Lake County get back in the game and slice the lead in half. You have the top of your batting order up in this 5th inning, and you'd love to see it turn into a productive one for Northwest Indiana.
For the Oilmen, you want to just make it a little bit bigger of a lead. As you saw, the Corn Dogs were able to quickly cut it in half last inning, so you want to just keep distancing yourselves. You don't want to let them back in this game.
Corn Dogs came into this game hot as well. When were they not hot over the course of the season, going 35-11? But they win the last 4 regular season games. Then they win their playoff opener last night over Joliet. So Lake County carries with it a 5-game winning streak into play tonight, one that the Oilmen are hoping to bring to a screeching halt in this opening game of the championship series.
The Corn Dogs really just going from wire to wire, doing a good job of dominating throughout the league. We're able to sustain the grind of a summer season.
First pitch here to Robinson. It's called a strike.
Because in summer you're going to have players get hurt, players go back to school, players be on pitch limits, and they've just been able to roll with all the punches and just showing how deep they are this season.
Here's the 0-1 to Robinson. It's taken for a called strike. And at least one fan was not too happy with that call, and the count goes to 0-2.
Robinson just caught that one a little far from the plate and just has to try to dig in here and not let that one bad call define the at-bat.
Oilmen fans have traveled well here to Legacy Fields. Here's a ground ball toward short. Schultz fields it. His throw to first is in time. 6-3 the putout goes, and Robinson is the first out of the 5th inning.
It's big for Troxel to get that first batter out. The Oilmen, after having the 1-2-3 inning last time, are trying to get their first hit since the 3rd inning against the Corn Dogs, who are starting to show some life here in the later portions of it. Again, we're in the back third now in the 5th inning as we're playing a 7-inning game.
1 out and the base is clear for Marshall, who's 0 for 2. Marshall hit .307 in the regular season. First pitch to him is taken low for ball 1.
Marshall was able to drive in 2 runs last night, had a pretty solid game, hit the big double, scored 3 runs of his own. So he's trying to continue over that good approach at the plate from last night.
Here's the 1-0. It's taken high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 4-2 the score in favor of Northwest Indiana. A 3-run second inning after a Hedrick solo homer in the first. The 2-0. Swinging a ground ball toward first. This is picked up on a bounce by Paplava. He takes it to the bag unassisted for the second out of the 6th inning.
So in this inning so far, the Oilmen have had 2 outs, 2 plays where they've made hard contact, but the Corn Dog defense has been able to retire it. They're seeing the ball against Troxel, able to get the bat on it, but they're just unable to put it in positions where the Corn Dogs don't have players stationed. It's kind of one of those things where sometimes you have bad luck at the plate, but you need to try to chase Troxel a little bit more as he's settling in here in the 5th inning.
Hedrick low. He takes for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
To Troxel's credit, he's done a good job of adjusting since that 2nd inning. The Oilmen have only had 1 base runner since the 2nd.
This is low for a ball, yeah. I wasn't sure he would be the starter that lasted longer the way this game has started. And we weren't sure he would make the middle part of the game. The Oilmen were going for that early knockout punch again after the Viking starter lasted just 3 innings last night. Here's a ground ball left side. Tough play is going to be a base hit. Grounded toward the hole between short and third. Hansen was able to go over and get a glove on it. But it's a base hit for Hedrick. His second of the day comes with 2 outs here in the 5th, and that'll bring up Zebe.
There's just something that is so massive about getting a 2-out hit, especially for a pitcher like Hedrick, Troxel, who's dealing up there as he thinks he's almost out of it. Then you're just able to squeak out a hit there, get a runner on base, forces him to have to throw more pitches on the mound, put more effort into this inning, and just work a little bit harder.
Here's the first pitch to Zebig, swinging a smash to first. This is caught, and that's the way the inning comes to a close. Zebig absolutely scorched this at Paplava, but he's able to make the play, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for the Oilmen in the 5th. After 4.5, it remains Oilmen 4, Lake County 2 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Beach is just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Light. Well-mouthed desert, meet ice cold beer. Mountain cold refreshment. Let's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home. The ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world. Keep America's railroads on the right track. Help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
Safety doesn't come in a box. It's not a banner that goes on a wall. It's not something you do now and then, or when it's convenient. It's using state-of-the-art simulators to better prepare for any situation. It's giving offshore teams onshore support, and it's empowering anyone to stop a job if something doesn't seem right. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
A lot of key dignitaries at the ballpark today. Some Oilmen representation. The public address announcer Ben Slack is here. Stephanie from the leading the game day staff, and some of the other game day staff members are here. Oilman owner Don Poprovac is in the house today. The lead umpire, the umpire-in-chief of the Northern League, Todd Elias, is in the stands today. And a number of Oilmen fans have made the trip over, and many, many others are watching across the World Wide Web and hanging out with Leo and I tonight. And we welcome you to our broadcast. We're happy to have you with us, as always. We're also happy to tell you that it's 4-2 in favor of the Oilmen as we hit the bottom of the 5th inning. Jack Niecras will have to face the top of the Lake County order in this 5th after he comes in and does an excellent job retiring the 2 men he faced in the 4th. This is lifted in the air off the bat of Terry. It's a fly ball. It's going to hang up there for Hedrick, who gloves it, And that's the first out of the 5th inning.
It's a good way for Niecras to start off this 5th inning, get 1 out on just 1 pitch, especially against the leadoff hitter. This will be a tough spot for him to navigate through, but as we're getting closer to the later part of this game, this is one of the bigger spots. If you can get through this top of the order unscathed, that can really put him in a good position to try to keep the Oilmen in a winning spot here.
1 out and the base is clear for Noble. Noe 3 1/3 innings. He did his job, and he got the ball to Jack Niecras. And now a excellent start for Niecras as he has retired the first 3 he's faced, and he delivers a called strike. Niecras says accuracy is his biggest strength. He doesn't walk a lot of people, and he tries to keep a low pitch count in each inning that he works.
That's what we saw from him in those first couple batters of the last inning, where he was just hitting his spots, was able to get a couple ground outs to end the inning.
This is low and outside for a ball, 2-1. Niecras, a big Star Wars fan. He told me before the season, Leo, although I am mainly an athlete, I would also consider myself to be a nerd. Here comes the 2-1, swing and a ground ball toward first. This is fielded unassisted by Anderson, and out at first, Noble, 3 unassisted. So 2 outs and the base is clear.
Our photographer, Ethan Levy's a big Star Wars fan, too. I'm sure those two have had lots of conversations about the movies and the shows and everything else while passing the time at baseball games.
He said Niecras says he actually enjoys school, and he keeps good grades and does very well on tests. 2 outs and the base is clear. Obviously, it's the term student athlete for a reason, right? Here's a pitch low and inside for a ball, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. And we've had so many guys come through the Oilmen that have been very successful academically as well as in baseball. And keeping up with those guys, here's the 1-0 is taken for a ball, 2-0, and I am friends with many of them on social media, and now you see their careers, and you see their young children, and everything like that with how many years we've been around now with the Oilmen. The 2-0 is swung on and crushed to left. This is trouble off the back of Schultz, and this is going to leave the yard for a home run. Schultz, a solo home run to left, and it is a 4-3 ball game. So solo shot moves the Corn Dogs within a run, and Mathias will come up to the plate next.
That was just crushed off the bat of Schultz, and that's what the Corn Dogs needed, was that one big hit, and now they've made it a much more high-leverage situation for Niecras on the mound. You know, that 2-run lead is a dangerous one sometimes because it feels comfortable, but then one swing of the bat can change it completely, as now the Oilmen are just hanging on to that lead at 4-3.
Brett Mathias is due up next. 4-3 in favor of the Oilmen. They still lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now Niecras will try to bounce back. First pitch strike on Mathias. But anyway, Niecras, a business major in college, and he hopes to make his way to a high-level position within a large company. Here's a swing and a foul on the count 0-2. And again, we've had a lot of Oilmen that have gone on to all sorts of different careers inside and outside of baseball following their time in Northwest Indiana.
And that's the thing, too, to consider is the student-athlete part. The baseball part isn't always going to last forever, and you can use that baseball to help you get a pretty good education.
Here's strike 3 called. 3 straight strikes to Mathias. Big-time bounce back there as he strikes out Mathias and forces the Corn Dogs to settle for 1 run. On 1 hit, the homer by Schultz, and nobody left on base. We have played 5. It's the Oilmen 4 and Lake County 3 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Beach is just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Light. Well-mouthed desert, meet ice-cold beer. Mountain cold refreshment. Let's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home. The ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world. Keep America's railroads on the right track. Help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
And we're back as we take it to inning number 6. It's 5, 6, and 7 due up for NWI here in the 6th frame. Anderson, Baker, and Fumagalli for the Oilmen. They will look to tack on. They lead 4-3, Leo, but haven't scored since the 2nd inning. Troxel has settled in, and now the Corn Dogs have scored 3 times over the last 2 innings and created a 1-run game. You would love to add on here in the 6th.
Absolutely. The Oilmen looking to avoid suffering a similar fate to the Vikings did last night, where you get off that early lead and then fall back. But this is a good spot in the lineup for the Oilmen to try to get back in it, as you have Anderson up, who had a really good night last night, knocking in 2 runs. Then you have Baker and Fumagalli, 2 experienced players for the Oilmen. So you just have to let that experience play into effect here. You've played in some close games all season long. You know what it takes to try to work out a win. You just have to try to pad your lead a little bit.
Here's the set and the first pitch. This is taken high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 5, 6, and 7 for NWI. As Leo talked about, you got Baker in the 6th spot, and that makes this good lineup up there in this inning. This one swung on and sent to left. Pretty well hit. Ferry's back on it. He's on the warning track, and he makes the catch. Right on the edge of the warning track, the front edge in deep left field, and Anderson gives it a ride, but he's the first out of the 6th inning.
Anderson got under that one, but it was just a few feet short. That was one where maybe a light breeze would have pushed it over the wall there, but he just wasn't able to get lucky there, as Ferry was able to locate it and make the catch for out number 1.
Each team with 4 hits. The Oilmen lead the column that counts 4-3. The only error charged to Lake County. Here comes the first pitch to Baker. It's taken high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. We're in the 6th inning, and remember, this is only a 7-inning game here tonight at Oil City Stadium. Here comes the 1-0. This is looked at for a strike, and it's even now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That home run from Schultz really seemed to accelerate that shorter inning that shorter game, as now you realize we're so close to the finish with both teams now digging in here.
1-1 fouled 1 and 2, Leo, and what you hope it doesn't do is kind of re-energize the Corn Dogs. But I thought it was huge that Niecras bounced back and struck out Matthijs on 3 pitches, catching him looking for the final out of that inning. Here comes the 1-2. This is low for ball 2, 2-2.
Niecras looked really good, too, after that home run. He didn't seem rattled. He didn't seem like that affected his confidence. He was just able to go up there, take the same approach, throw strikes, put stuff in the zone, and send a guy down looking.
2-2 on Baker. 4-3 the score. Here comes the break even. This is swung on and cracked foul, bouncing off the dugout and deflecting all the way back into fair territory. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bake. The other thing Baker told me yesterday is that he's still having fun playing the game after all these years, as he looks back at his journey with the Oilmen and his journey in baseball. And that's what you never want to lose, the joy of the game. Should still be fun. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4-3. The score in favor of the Oilmen. Here's a swing and a ground ball up the middle. This is going to be a base hit. Diving attempt, no play for Noble. Baker is booking around first. He's thinking too. No, he's going to stop halfway between first and second. He thought better of it. He aggressively turned around first, but the ball was right near the second base bag, and about halfway he turned around and booked it back to first with a 1-out single.
Like the idea, but glad to see he stayed put there, as that would have been a potentially dangerous play if he went for 2. And that's what Baker's done all season for the Oilmen. Just gets the type of contact that you need. He finds a way to get on base, and now sets Anthony Fumagalli up to try to get the Oilmen back up by some more.
First pitch to Fumagalli is a called strike, and the count 0-1.
Fumagalli was someone who really delivered in last season's championship series against the Generals. He made some great defensive plays for the Oilmen. It helps having players with experience back for another run here.
No doubt. Here's the 0-1. This is taken for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Also a veteran guy, and it's such an interesting mix with older guys and younger guys this summer with the Oilmen, and it's proved to be a nice mix. Here comes the 1-1 pickoff to first. Not in time. Mike Clay right on top of it. I think he did get back. Troxel thought he had him, but I think it was the right call that Baker got back under the tag.
Baker was just able to avoid getting tagged there, and Troxel letting him know he's paying attention over there, so maybe that'll affect how big of a lead Baker gets off to on these next couple pitches.
Here's the 1-1. Swinging a ground ball right side. This is going to leak through. Base hit right field off the bat of Fumagalli. A slow roller that gets through the right side of the infield. Back-to-back singles with 1 away here in the 6th against Troxel. And Kyle Zarnecki will have a chance in an RBI spot.
And it's probably the two most veteran players of the Oilmen that just were able to get those singles, Baker and Fumagalli. They weren't the hardest hit pieces of contact, but nonetheless, they were able to put guys on base. And that's what you need to think of sometimes here in a playoff game in a high-leverage situation. Maybe guys always want to swing for the fences, but sometimes you just got to do what you can, find a gap to get a man on base.
Four 4-3 the score. Action in both pens right now. Here comes the first pitch. This is swung on and hit well to left. This is going to be a base hit. Around third is Baker. He's getting the green light from Matt Vituli. The relay throw toward the plate. There could be a play. He slides. He scores. Oilmen lead 5-3. He slides in safely just ahead of the tag of Johnstone. Going to third on the play, Fumagalli. RBI double Kyle Zarnecki. And the Oilmen double the lead. It's 5-3 Northwest Indiana.
And Baker needed to be speeding down the line to try to get in there and score. Because of where that was hit, the Oilmen were maybe a little hesitant to try to send their base runners, waiting to see if they needed to tag up. So by the time they dropped, Baker had to book it down the line and was just able to get in there with barely any time to spare, getting under the tag, and that helps the Oilmen tremendously, making it a 2-run game again.
Josh Cuniff next. Great send by Matt Vituli. A great aggressive play. The Corn Dogs made the play perfectly, and Baker was still safe at the plate. Here comes the infield as they will be in now, and Cuniff will swing and foul this out of play right side. The Corn Dogs don't want the deficit to grow any larger, so they will take the risk of bringing the infield in with one out and a run at third.
We talked about it a lot last night, how the Oilmen didn't play emotional in that game. They stayed collected, and that was another example of that. You give up the home run last inning, you start to see it be a little closer, and then you just get some good contact and get the plays you need here to respond to that home run.
Here's a line ground ball to second, and they'll hold the runner and then throw to first in time. Playing the infield in work, Noble's able to get over to this ground ball. Kind of a, I was hesitating whether to call it a line drive or ground ball. It was lined, and then one hop for Noble. He fields it nicely, and then looked the runner back to third before throwing on to first for the second out of the inning. Now the infield can back up with 2 down.
And that really worked to perfection, keeping the infield in there as you were able to get that throw down the line. We're able to basically get it right to the teeth of that defense for out number 2.
Huge moment in the game right now. Troxel against Robinson, swing and a miss. Robinson could double the lead to 4 with a base hit here with 2 outs in this inning.
He's probably thinking he needs a big swing here, but take something away from those Baker and Fumagalli singles. Just those ones through the gaps there that were able to advance runners. That's what you maybe need here to try to score this run.
0-1 on Robinson. He calls time and backs away. 5-3 the score. Runners at second and third. Baker scored for the second time today. He has 2 of the 5 Oilmen runs after his big day yesterday. Here comes the 0-1. This is swung on and lifted in the air towards center. Terry comes in and he makes the catch, and the inning ends. But the Oilmen do get a run. They settle for the 1 on 3 hits and leave 2. We've played 5.5 in a 7-inning game. It's the Oilmen 5 and Lake County 3 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success.
I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted, bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost premium meat.
I've never seen ads on top of the roof where it's helping the community.
This place teaches you to be genuine, to be the same person today as you were yesterday. People from Indiana, they're pretty comfortable with who they are. And you know, I think that puts the people around them at ease to be comfortable with who they are.
The values that built Indiana are here in Strachan Van Til. We're Indiana's grocery store, and we're proud to be Indiana made.
These days, it's recommended that you keep your social circle small. Of course, as the original light beer, we've always recommended that. It's Miller time.
Back at Legacy Fields in Crown Point, where there's a new pitcher on the mound, and it's a right-hander, and it's the closer of the Oilmen. Nick Hayden is in with 6 outs to get, and the Oilmen leading 5-3 in Game 1 of the Northern League Championship Series. He comes on in relief of Jack Niecras. Good job by Jack. He goes an inning and 2/3, allows 1 run on 1 hit, no walks, and struck out 1. And now the ball has been turned over to Nick Hayden, with the Oilmen leading 5-3 in the 6th.
Hayden has been another trusted reliever for the Oilmen all season, has played in championships for the Oilmen in the past, is someone who has a big task on hand right now as the Corn Dogs are down to their final 6 outs. And Hayden's just trying to keep the door shut on them.
He came on and got the final 3 outs of a lopsided game last night, but the Oilmen were taking no chances. Here's the first pitch ground ball, left side base hit. First pitch single off the bat of Hansen. And the Corn Dogs leadoff base runner here in the 6th. Hansen has been on base all 3 times.
Hansen's been a tough out to get all game for the Corn Dogs, as that's exactly what you want to do against one of the Oilmen top relievers. Is the first batter up against him, get a man on base.
Now it's Matalik. He drove in a run with a 6-3 ground ball in the 4th and singled in the 2nd. The Corn Dogs with just their 4th hit of the game a moment ago.
These hits have been well-timed, especially for the Corn Dogs. You have that home run. You've had hits with runners on base. Just doing what you can to manufacture some runs.
Yeah, a sac fly produced a run. A ground ball by Matalik produced a run. And then the solo home run. Here comes the 1-0. This is low for a ball. He checked but held up. Count is 2-0. We are in the 6th inning, the bottom of inning number 6. The Oilmen a big insurance run in the top of this inning on the RBI double by Zarnecki, but they did leave 2 in scoring position. Here's the 2-0, low and outside. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Matalik.
Hayden just getting that curveball, breaking away from the plate, too far away. And he just needs to try to do and locate some strikes here with this 3-0 count. Can't afford to get both men on base, as Matalik would be the tying run here.
3 balls and no strikes on Matalik. And the 3-0 is low for ball 4. Back-to-back base runners, a first pitch single, and then a walk.
Now Hayden facing one of his former teammates up in the box here with the tying runner on base, no outs. You have to be efficient up here. You can't afford a wild pitch or anything that could advance these base runners.
And here comes Adam Enright to the mound as he will want to talk it over here with Nick Hayden. Oilmen, we mentioned maybe 6 out save, but the bullpen stays hot here, so they're going to keep getting arms loose down the right field line, and the responsibility for Hayden here is to try to do his best to put a 0 on the board, but it's a good start to the inning. One was just a little ground ball single. There's nothing you can do about that, but then the walk a moment ago, you hope that one doesn't come back to hurt you.
No, there was really nothing you could do about the single, but the walk, that was something within Hayden's control, and you wonder if one affects the other. If after giving up that single, he's maybe changing the spots he's looking for, trying to avoid a hit with a man on, and that just makes it an even more dangerous spot.
He's also pitched a ton late in the season. He pitched the last week of the regular season, saw a lot of action out there, and he's working for the 2nd straight night here tonight. He's a guy the Oilmen have great trust in late in games. And it's not always the final inning. Sometimes he comes in high leverage spots earlier in the game. In this case, it's the penultimate inning here in the 6th with the game scheduled to go 7. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And Ferry standing in. Brandon Vickery, Leo Staudaher, David Bork is with us tonight in the booth, keeping things under control. 5-3 Oilmen with nobody out and the Corn Dogs threatening here in the 6th. Here's the first pitch to Ferry, swinging a foul, 0-1.
It's a good way to start the at-bat. Get a foul ball for strike 1. Hayden just needs to try to stay ahead of Ferry here in this at-bat.
0-1 on Ferry. Hunters take their leads from first and second. Ferry had 4 home runs and 21 RBIs during the regular season. He is a threat up there, as we know from a year ago with the Oilmen. Here's the 0-1. Low and outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ferry.
Corn Dogs just having so many good hitters in their lineup helps that they're able to hide a hitter like Ferry in the 7th spot, making it even more dangerous in the back of the order.
Well, an Oilman Corn Dogs game, we knew it would feature some late drama. That's how the regular season series went, with a lot of close contests that saw the Corn Dogs take 8 out of 11. But the Oilmen are trying to record their victories in the series when they matter the most here in the postseason. 1-1 is swung on and lifted foul out of play, and the count 1-2. And if you're biting your fingernails a bit at home, you are not alone. Leo and I are right there with you. Nobody out in the inning. Ferry a walk and a fly out so far in this one. Here comes the set from Hayden in the 1-2. This is swung on and cracked to center. Coming in, Baker. He catches it on a line. Chris Baker makes some plays that are not routine, look routine, and he comes in and snatches that one easily for the first out of the 6th inning.
And that was one of those plays exactly there, as he had to come in fast as I was traveling out on the line with a lot of speed out to center field. He was able to charge in on it, make that catch almost at mid his torso level there, so he almost had to run in on the ball and scoop it in for the out.
Humongous first out of this inning. Pavlava stands in next. 6th inning, 7-inning game. It's 5-3 in favor of the Oilmen. Here's the first pitch, swinging a grounder foul left side. And the count 0-1 on Paplava.
That can help Hayden out a ton up there, knowing that now he's able to get one out. His defense has him taking care of things behind him. Now a potential double play could get you out of this inning.
Game 1 of the Northern League Championship Series. Game 1 of a doubleheader here tonight in Crown Point. 5-3 Oilmen as we play inning number 6. Here's the set from Hayden in the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball toward third. It's going to get through. Base hit left field. Round third trying to score Hansen. Here comes the throw from left, and he will score. He slides in ahead of the throw. Hansen scores on a single by Paplava. And once again, it's a 1-run ball game. Matulik to second and holding there. It's 5-4 now as each team has scored here in the 6th inning.
Marshall just wasn't able to time that one up as it went past his glove. He was ahead of it. He wasn't able to get the body in front of it. And that's where that run the Oilmen scored in the top of this inning becomes even more important. You're keeping the lead on.
Now batting number 49, Renko Stefanovic.
They are going to bring in a pinch batter here. Renko Stefanovic will step up to the plate. Renko was the player of the week in the final week of the regular season as he joined the Corn Dogs late, and he comes on to pinch hit for Johnstone in the spot.
Stefanovic, a player with a lot of potential, a lot of power in his bat, and he could try to break this game open for the Corn Dogs.
Right now the Oilmen lead by a 5-4 score. 1 out here in this 6th inning. And Justin Heisman going with a pinch hitter in this key spot. Here's the first pitch from Hayden. This is swung on and lifted in the air to center. Back on it, Baker. He has room, and he makes the catch. That's the 2nd out. The runners will tag. Here comes the throw all the way to third. It's going to be not in time. Runners tag and move up 90 feet. There's a big out. Nice piece of hitting by Stefanovic, but Baker backs up on it and makes the catch for the 2nd out of this 6th inning. And now the inning will rest on the shoulders of Gavin Terry.
Chris Baker covering a ton of ground out there in center field, going all the way out to the warning track to make that catch. That advanced both base runners brings the top of the order up, so the Oilmen aren't out of the woods yet, even though there are 2 outs.
The biggest moment of the night has arrived. Gavin Terry with a potential tying run at third. That's Matalik. The potential go-ahead run at second base here in the 6th of a 7-inning game, and 2 outs in the inning. It's Hayden against Terry. Here's the set from Hayden, and the first pitch to Terry. It's taken for a strike, and the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. A tense moment in Crown Point. Here comes the 0-1. It's taken for a ball. It just missed, and the count 1-1.
Looked like Hayden was trying to backdoor that one, but it just barely missed to make it a 1-1 count.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1. This is taken for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The leadoff man, Gavin Terry, is 0 for 3. He bats in the biggest moment of Game 1 of this championship series with 2 outs in the 6th inning and 2 in scoring position, with the Oilmen clinging to a 5-4 lead. Hayden asks Konev to go back through a series of signs. Now Hayden's ready. Here's his set and his 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He blew that one by him, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hayden taking something off there, getting Terry swinging ahead of it for strike 2. That was in a big spot, as that was in a good spot in the zone, but just he was unable to connect with it.
Here's the 2-2. This is outside for ball 3. We go full at 3-2. There is a base open, but the Oilmen would love to get out of this inning right here. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. 2 outs, and we have a payoff pitch on the way from Nick Hayden to Gavin Terry. 5-4 Oilmen, bottom 6 in Game 1. Here's the 3-2. Swinging a foul. We'll do it again.
That was big for Terry to break up what Hayden was trying to work with there with a 3-2 pitch, being able to just foul it away and force him to think of another option to throw here with a full count.
Oilmen out hitting the Corn Dogs 7-6 and leading the column that counts by the slimmest of margins as well. 3-2 on Terry. Hayden will try to work his way out of this 6th inning with the Corn Dogs threatening. 1 in and 2 on. 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch. This is taken inside for ball 4. Working the walk is Terry on a 3-2 pitch, and now the bases are full of Corn Dogs, and the inning extends for Donovan Noble.
And that's where that foul ball became even more important, as Hayden threw the pitch he wanted with the full count, but Terry was able to foul it away and make it another full count pitch, and then was able to work the walk on the next 3-2 delivery.
Now Donovan Noble steps in as the Baby Shark song blares over the PA. Runners will take their leads from all 3 bases. 2 outs. 5-4 in favor of the Oilmen. We are in the bottom of the 6th of a 7-inning game. Here's the first pitch from Hayden. This is swung on and popped up. Foul territory. It'll be out of play, and the count 0-1 on Noble. We said a moment ago was the biggest moment of the game to that point, but now we've got a bigger one with the bases full this time. And this time, something has to develop. Either a run or the inning will end with Donovan Noble's plate appearance. No balls and 1 strike, the count on him. He's 1 for 3. He's singled in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th, 3 unassisted. 0-1, the count on the former Crestwood Panther. Here's the 1 strike pitch. It's high for a ball, 1-1. Hayden doing a lot of shifting the dirt around on the mound between each pitch. Now he's ready. Here comes set for the 1-1 to Noble. This is swung on and grounded past the glove of Z-Big. Base hit into left. 1 run in. The Corn Dogs are going to take the lead on a 2-run single by Donovan Noble. Noble grounds one through the left side of the infield, and the runners end up at second base as Noble ends up at second. The throw went to third on Terry. He goes there. Matalik comes in and scores. Paplava comes in and scores. And we knew it would feature some late drama between the Oilmen and the Corn Dogs, and it's Lake County scoring 3 in the bottom of this 6th to make it 6-5.
And this is just really going to test the Oilmen even more. You've been playing with the lead all game. The Corn Dogs fight back, take it back. Now you find out what you're made of if you're able to get back in this one, or if you let this overwhelm you here. The Oilmen just need to have a response quick, and you still need to get the 3rd out in this inning.
Looking to the top of the 7th inning, Marshall, Hedrick, and Z-Big are scheduled to hit for Northwest Indiana. They are now down to 3 outs left to work with as Tyler Schultz steps up to the plate, and this is still a big spot. First pitch to Schultz. It's a ground ball, 1 hopper to 3rd. Marshall's throw to 1st is going to be in time. So the inning is over, but not before key damage done. As Lake County scores 3 times in the inning, they do it on 3 hits, and they strand 2. We have played 6. I know you won't go anywhere. We go to the 7th with the last chance for the Oilmen in Game 1. It's the Corn Dogs 6 and the Oilmen 5 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
We don't go to the office. We build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Have a student headed to college this fall? If so, you probably have questions, and the best place to find answers is Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech is in your community and offers hundreds of options. Best of all, our tuition is a fraction of the cost of other colleges. Complete a free application today.
Safety isn't a list of boxes to check. It's taking the best technologies out there and adapting them to work for you. The ultrasound that can see inside patients can also detect early signs of corrosion at our refineries. High-tech military cameras that see through walls can inspect our pipelines to prevent leaks. Remote-controlled aircraft can help us identify potential problems and stop them in their tracks. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Well, the Corn Dogs will go to the bullpen. Jake Tomitz will come in to pitch this 7th inning. The left-hander is on. He comes on in relief of Ryan Troxel, who after all that exits in position for the win. 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. They were earned. He walked 3 and struck out 2. It was not the best outing for the ace of the Corn Dogs, but he did enough to keep his team in it, and the Corn Dogs rallying all 6 of their runs coming over the last 3 innings. They now lead the Oilmen by a score of 6-5.
Troxel did a good job of settling in the middle innings in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, putting up short frames, getting some big outs as the Oilmen were able to get him at the beginning and the end of his outing. But he did a great job of settling in, where maybe he didn't have his best stuff early on.
Well, 2, 3, and 4 in this 7th inning. David Marshall leads it off, lefty on lefty. Here's the first pitch. It's taken for a strike. Let's run it down. Ryan Troxel is in position for the win. Nick Hayden is on the hook for the loss. Tomitz trying to nail down the save. The Corn Dogs trying to take a 1-game-to-none lead in the best-of-3 championship series, and the Oilmen trying to rally and avoid that. Here comes the 0-1 to Marshall. It's taken outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Marshall.
Marshall hitless so far tonight, but he had 2 big hits last night, including a double, drove in 2 runs, looking to pick up where he left off last night.
1-1 on Marshall. 6-5 Corn Dogs. 3 outs left to work with. This is only a 7-inning game. This is low and outside for a ball. 2-1. The leadoff man is key, Leo, in this inning.
Yeah, you don't want to waste an out with the first batter up here. You want to try to get that man on with outs to spare. That's what Marshall's trying to work here.
We knew it would be thrilling and exciting and heart-pounding between these teams. The Oilmen trying to create more late-inning drama in this 7th. Here comes the 2-1 to Marshall. It's taken low for a ball, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike.
Marshall with a couple good takes here on some pitches close to the zone. Was able to see something coming out of the hand and know not to chase those. Low one on the outer edge of the plate.
You know, no lead is safe here in Crown Point. We learned that the first weekend of the season. That Sunday game. Here comes the 3-1. This is taken for a strike, and we go full at 3-2 on Marshall.
Good bounce back pitch there by Tomitz to make it a full count, putting a lot of pressure on Marshall here to lead off the inning.
Each team with 7 hits, 6-7-1 for Lake County, 5-7-0 for the Oilmen. Here comes the payoff pitch. This is swung on and grounded, left side base hit, leadoff single Marshall. He goes the other way with a leadoff base knock in the 7th inning, and the tying run is on.
There's kind of that sense that David Marshall was due as he was hitless so far today after having a really big day last night. And he was able to start the Oilmen off on the right foot in this inning, sending that one opposite field just past the third baseman to get on.
Kane Hedrick will stand in next. Hedrick with Marshall at first base. Here's the first pitch to him. This is swung on and lifted in the air to shallow right. This is going to be a sliding catch for the right fielder, Matalik. This is a tough read for Marshall. It was going to be tough on the Oilmen either way because Marshall, it was a really tricky spot for him. If he went halfway, that's what you're supposed to do, and he gets back to first safely. Nice play by Matalik, and that's the first out of the 9th inning.
That was just a tough luck flyout for the Oilmen there, as it wasn't able to advance the runner. They're cordoned out, and now you're just getting closer and closer to seeing this game wither away.
First out of the 7th inning, 7-inning game, essentially the 9th. There's the first pitch to Zebig, low for ball 1.
Zebig, another young hitter for the Oilmen, but someone who's produced in big spots all season long. He has a hit earlier in this game and would like to add a second one here.
Stefanovic, a nice block a moment ago. That keeps the tying run at first rather than second base on that pitch that was low and outside. Here comes the pitch. It's taken ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on the talented Jack Zebig, who hit an absolute rocket his last time, a line drive that was caught at first base. See if he can keep hitting balls hard in this plate appearance. Here's the 2-0. He swings and hits this one hard in the air, deep right field. This ball's trouble, and this ball is going to one-hop the fence. Extra bases for Zebig. Round third, Marshall. He gets the green light from Matt Vituli. Here comes the relay throw toward third. The throw to third is going to be not in time. RBI triple, Jack Zebig. The Oilman dugout comes to life. They have tied the game at 6. Justin Heisman out to argue with Andy Pappas at third base as a close play at third. It's a triple for Zebig, and the Oilmen have tied this game at 6, and now the potential go-ahead run is 90 feet away.
And that's what we were talking about with Jack Zebig, how he's just delivered in big spots for the Oilmen all season. That time was able to knock in the tying run, send a shot out to the gap, just a good hit ball. And just for such a young hitter, he just shows so much poise at the plate.
And now, of course, the infield will be in here. Nick Anderson will try to drive in the go-ahead run. Top of the 7th inning, 7-inning game. Back and forth we go. The Oilmen fighting right back. Anderson swings and misses in the count 0-1. We knew, Leo, as you talked about, there was a dangerous part of the batting order up for the Oilmen in the 7th. Marshall started things with a base hit. And then they got through the dangerous Hedrick as he flied out, and it took a nice play in right to retire him. And then Zebig delivers. Here comes the 0-1, swing and a miss. And now it's no balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and the potential go-ahead run at third.
For the Oilmen, it was just that dangerous part of the order producing so far. You have Chris Baker on deck. You want to make sure you make them pay with one of your top spots up right now.
Here's the 2-strike pitch to Anderson. Swing and a miss. 3 straight strikes.
Thomas, after the big triple, just goes right at Anderson there with the K. Not being overwhelmed by that triple, just attacking him and shaking it right off.
And look who's coming to the plate next with the potential go-ahead run at third and 2 outs. It, of course, is Chris Baker as he stands in. Infield backs up now with 2 down. Baker against Tomitz. Here comes the first pitch. He shows bunt. He bunts it back toward the mound. Tomitz fields it. He runs halfway to first. The underhand flips to first and gets them, and the inning ends. Oh, Baker tried to surprise the Corn Dogs, but it did not work out. As the Oilmen settle for 1 run on 2 hits and leave the potential go-ahead run 90 feet away. Now you hope for extras. We go to the bottom of inning number 7. It's the Oilmen 6 and the Corn Dogs 6 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success. I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted and bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost premium meat.
Safety isn't a list of boxes to check. It's taking the best technologies out there and adapting them to work for you. The ultrasound that can see inside patients can also detect early signs of corrosion at our refineries. High-tech military cameras that see through walls can inspect our pipelines to prevent leaks. Remote-controlled aircraft can help us identify potential problems and stop them in their tracks. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Back here for the bottom of inning number 7 as the ball game is tied at 6. So what a game between the Oilmen and Corn Dogs, Leo, as we go back and forth, just what we would come to expect from these two teams.
Hey, we were kind of saying it when the Oilmen were up 4-0. You have to keep making that lead bigger because you know the Corn Dogs are going to have a run in them, and they certainly have. This one's gone back and forth, and now if you're the Oilmen, you're just hoping for extra innings, as you just had that monster triple from Zebik to tie things up after you saw the lead vanquish in the 6th inning.
Brett Mathies will lead off this inning. Now there's a new pitcher on the mound. It is Matt Ostrowski. What an outing he had late in the regular season as he pitched 6 strong innings, in fact 6 shutout innings, combining with his brother Jake for an Oilman shutout on the mound of the Vikings. Here's the first pitch strike and the count 0-1. I think that outing late in the regular year established him as someone that Adam Enright had confidence putting on the mound in a postseason situation in a tied game in the bottom of the final inning. This is outside for a ball.
That was certainly a pleasant surprise for the Oilmen as it just made them realize they have another guy they can trust in the postseason here in Ostrowski.
We are even at 6 in the 7th. Hayden allowed 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks in his inning. Here's a ground ball toward first. Tricky hop. Nice job navigating it by Anderson. He takes it himself in time. That was a tough bounce, and Anderson was able to field it for the first out of the 7th inning.
Anderson probably made the right call by holding on to that one and just stepping on the bag there as you run a risk of maybe mistiming things with the throw, so he was able to race down and make that play.
Yeah, whenever you can avoid making a throw, you always want to do so, and what a job by him to play that hop as well. 6-6 tie in the 7th, and now that brings up Hansen. This is scheduled as a 7-inning game, but the Oilmen are hoping to get this to bonus baseball here in Game 1. Here's the first pitch, taken low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes.
For the Oilmen, extras are really only hope right now is want to avoid letting the Corn Dogs walk it off here, get your bats back up, and try to put a run on in what would be extra time.
Big first out for Ostrowski a moment ago to retire Mathies. 1-0 on Hansen. Here's the first pitch. Next pitch taken for a strike, and the count evens out at 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a big run as the Oilmen offense had, in the middle part of the game, stagnated a little bit, but now in each of the last 2 innings they put runs on the board. So you feel good about where you're at offensively if you can get to extras. This is inside for a ball, 2-1. In case you missed it, the Oilmen led going to the bottom of the 6th. Lake County scoring 3 times to take the lead. Then the Oilmen a run to tie it, a Marshall single and a Z-Big triple in the top of this 7th inning. Here comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss, and the count is 2-2.
Good off-speed pitch there by Ostrowski, keeping it low in the zone, getting the batter to swing over it for strike 2.
2-2. 6-6 tie, inning number 7. Here's the set and the 2-2 pitch. It's taken for strike 3 called. Caught looking is Hansen for the second out of the 7th inning.
Good movement on that pitch from Ostrowski. It throws up Hansen for strike 3, sent him down looking. That's what he needed to do there, getting out without risking putting the ball in play, as he's just coming looking very confident on the mound.
Number 30, Hayden Matalich.
Hayden Matalich will bat next with 2 outs and the bases clear, and the Oilmen trying to get this thing to an extra inning. Here's the first pitch, taken low and outside for a ball. Matalich walked and singled earlier. He also drove in a run. Next offering is ball 2, 2-0.
A couple of good takes by Matalich here, as he's another dangerous hitter late in the lineup for the Corn Dogs. He could really try to make the Oilmen pay here.
6-6 tie. We are in the 7th. The game scheduled for 7 innings. 2 outs and the base is clear. Here comes the 2-0. Swinging a grounder foul left side, and it's 2-1. The Oilmen have not played very many extra inning games this season. You had the one at Griffith High School against the Panthers. And that might be the only one that comes to mind.
That's the only one I can think
Yeah,
of
I
as
believe
well.
it was the only one. The All-Star game went to extra innings, unfortunately enough. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count on Matalik. 6-6 the score as we play bottom of inning number 7. Here comes the 2-1. Swinging a ground ball toward third. This is fielded by Marshall. His toss across the diamond is offline, and reaching safely here is Matalik. Wild throw by Marshall, and the inning extends for Jacob Ferry.
That throw was just off the mark. It forced Anderson to come off the bag there and reach behind him, and that's what the Corn Dogs needed. It was a play to extend the inning however you can get it. And for now, for the Oilmen, you just need to try to shake it off, focus on this next batter, Jake Ferry, and not let that error lead to bigger things.
The Oilmen have played good defense all night long. That's their first error of the ball game. And kind of a tough play at third. Once you make the play at third, he had time to make the throw and just threw wildly. Good throw does get him there, so it goes as E5 on the throw. Now it's Ferry with 2 outs and a runner on first. Here's the first pitch. This is swung on and cracked to right. And right there to make the sliding catch is the right fielder Fumagalli. It was a little bit of an adventure, but he made the play nonetheless, and the inning ends. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to extra innings in Game 1 of the Northern League Championship. It's the Oilmen 6 and the Corn Dogs 6 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Beach is just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Light. Well-mouthed desert, meet ice-cold beer. Not in cold refreshment. That's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home. The ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world. Keep America's railroads on the right track. Help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
Safety doesn't come in a box. It's not a banner that goes on a wall. It's not something you do now and then, or when it's convenient. It's using state-of-the-art simulators to better prepare for any situation. It's giving offshore teams onshore support, and it's empowering anyone to stop a job if something doesn't seem right. At BP, safety is never being satisfied, and always working to be better.
And we are back as we continue along here, going to extra innings. We were scheduled for 7, but it was not enough, as the Oilmen are going to go to the bench here, it appears, as Dom Curcio has grabbed a bat, and he is going to be into the ball game here. So Fumagalli is no longer in the game, and Dom Curcio leads things off for NWI here in this 8th inning.
Dom Curcio has been someone who works a lot of walks for the Oilmen, finds ways to get on base. He was able to make some productive plays last night at the plate, was the walk and a single, and stole a base as well.
And elsewhere, there was a pitching change for the Corn Dogs. Mark Torr is in. Tomitz goes 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run. It tied the game, no walks, and 1 strikeout. And we go to extras. 8th inning, it's 6-6 on a night where the teams were already thinking about pitching plans for how do you get through 14 innings? How do you cover 14 in one night? And they had all their plans for the 14 innings. And then things going a little awry in the sense that extra innings are having to be covered by the pitching staff here in this opener. And here's the first pitch strike to Curcio.
And the Corn Dogs have a lot of pitchers to work for them on the bench, so you have to think that plays to their advantage, as the Oilmen will try to roll with the punches as well. But you'd like to keep this a short extra inning campaign.
Here's the 0-1. This is cracked to right. That's going to be a base hit for Curcio. Curcio strokes a single into right to lead off the 8th inning.
Curcio, the second on the team in walks in the regular season, picks up a hit there, just being able to send that one down the line. And that's how the Oilmen need to start things off. Just like Marshall getting on base in the 7th inning, get the leadoff man on without having to surrender an out.
Let's see what the Oilmen want to do here if Zarnecki thinks about laying down a bunt in this spot. Cuniff is on deck, and then it would be the top of the order. Oilman may think about a sacrifice right here. Curcio, the runner at first. Here comes the set, and the pitch to Zarnecki. He squares around. He does get it down the third base line. Good bunt. Tor bare hands it. His throw to first is going to be not in time. Base hit. Bunt single for Kyle Zarnecki as he legs it out to first. Back-to-back singles begin this 8th inning, and the Oilmen have runners at first and second with nobody out.
And that was just a well-executed bunt by a right-handed batter, Zarnecki. Sent it down the third base line, so that's already kind of hard enough to do as it just stopped rolling, stayed fair, and he was able to leg it out. Good hustle to get on base, and this puts the Oilmen in a really good spot.
Now let's see if Josh Cuniff lays down a bunt with runners at first and second and nobody out. In the top of the order on deck. Here's the set from Tor. And the first pitch, he squares around. He takes high for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes.
Good job by Cuniff pulling back that one, showing bunt, drawing the infield in, and then not taking it as it went away from the zone.
1 ball, no strikes on Cuniff. He doubled and drove in 2 earlier in the game. Here he's trying to move the runners up to second and third. 6-6 the score. We're in the 8th inning in a 7-inning game. It is extra innings. Here comes the 1-0. He bunts it foul. This was a line drive bunt foul as it was in on his hands. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
This came in a tough spot for Cuniff as he wasn't able to really get that in a good spot on the bat and just ricocheted out of play.
Runners take their leads at first and second. Curcio, the runner, at second. It's Zarnecki wandering out to the lead at first. Cuniff will try to lay one down in all likelihood. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the set from Tor. And the 1-1. He squares around, he pulls back and takes strike 2. Now it's 1-2, and now you very well may have to swing away.
He kind of put himself at a disadvantage there by not connecting with that one, as now it's a 1-2 count. Essentially has to try to swing here to get on base.
Runners at first and second with nobody out. The infield backs up. Here's the set and the 1-2 pitch. He takes low and outside for a ball, 2-2.
Good take there by Cuniff, not getting too aggressive with the 1-2 count. He's able to work this to even, laying off that one that was breaking away from the plate.
2-2 for the 9-man in the Oilmen batting order. Cuniff, nobody out in the top of the 8th inning. Here's the set from Tor. He gets the sign from John Stone. And the 2-2 pitch. It's taken for a ball, and the count goes full at 3-2.
That was an tempting spot for Cuniff as that was nearing the lower outside corner, but he just laid off that one. So that would have been one he'd probably just send down the line to first base if he made contact with it.
3-2. No outs. Runners out to their leads from first and second. Here's the set from Tor. He comes ready and delivers a big payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cuniff is out on strikes for the first out of the 8th inning.
Good job by Tor battling back in that at-bat. If there were some calls that maybe he thought he should have gotten against him, he was just able to motor one in, get the swing and miss for strike 3, and leaving no doubt there.
Now Shea Robinson seeking his first hit of the day. He is 0 for 2. He drove in a run with a sac fly in the second, and he walked in the first inning. But his first hit of this ball game would go a long way right here. 6-6 tie in the 8th. Here's the set from Tor in his first pitch. Robinson takes the ball. This gets by the catcher. It's Stefanovic, and the runners move up to second and third. Renko couldn't collect this one, and now a base hit could score 2.
That was kind of one of those little mistakes that could really come back to hurt. With the speed Curcio has on third base, anything that's kind of well hit can give him a good chance to try and score, and this just puts the Oilmen in a real advantageous spot.
Pass ball allows the runners to move up. 1 ball and no strikes on Robinson. Infield in. Here comes the 1-0. This is taken high for a ball, 2-0.
Robinson's one of the younger hitters on the Oilmen, just finished his high school career this past spring when he's putting into a real big spot. A championship game facing college-age pitching, trying to deliver for his team.
Former big league pitcher Justin Heisman, who pitched in the big leagues with the Kansas City Royals, will jog out to the mound as he sees this as a spot to have a word with Tor, who has fallen behind 2 balls and no strikes on Robinson. There is first base open in this spot. David Marshall on deck. And a brief conversation concludes.
And not spending a lot of time up there was Heisman, just giving out some orders and now heading back to the dugout.
Game 1 of a doubleheader. We are in extra innings. 6-6 the score in the 8th. The Oilmen held a 2-run lead going to the bottom of the 6th. The Corn Dogs got 3 to take the lead. The Oilmen tied it with a 7th inning run. Now the Oilmen trying to get on the get something across here in inning number 8. Now they are going to intentionally walk Shy Robinson here, so the Corn Dogs have elected to issue an intentional walk to Robinson, and that will load the bases for David Marshall.
Saves a couple of throws for Tor, and now gives you more choices here. You can try to get that double play that would end the inning when you're facing David Marshall, who had a big hit last time up to get on base and score the game-tying run.
Marshall, a dangerous hitter. He had as Leo mentioned, his first hit of the game last time, 1 for 4 on the day, 307 during the regular season, and drove in 24. Oilmen runners at all 3 bases with 1 out in this top of the 8th inning. First pitch from Tor is strike 1 called, 0-1, according to home plate umpire Raleigh Thill. Good crew for this championship series. No balls and a strike on Marshall. Here's the set from the pitcher Tor and the 0-1 pitch. This is taken for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Marshall just needs to focus, wait for his pitch here. You don't want to help Tor out here. You have to avoid that ground ball, that double play ground ball, and you need to try to get one of these runs in, because for the Oilmen, you don't want to have to go too deep into this game knowing you still have 7 more innings you have to play in game 2 following this.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's low and in for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Marshall. 6-6 tie as we play inning number 8. Oilmen trying to push ahead in the extra inning. 2 hits and an intentional walk have loaded the bases. There's a strikeout interspersed. And that's the 1 out so far in this frame. 2-1 on Marshall. Here comes Tor. He is set and it's 2-1. This is swung on and hit well off the bat of Marshall to deep center field. Back on it, Terry. He's there. He's got it. And tagging at third and trying to score on the play and doing so successfully is Curcio from third. Zarnecki moves up 90 feet as well. He goes to third. A timely sacrifice fly off the bat of Marshall. And the Oilmen have taken the lead here in the 8th. It's 7-6.
That was just what the Oilmen needed there, was to get one. Now with Hedrick at the box, you want to try to get another one up there, because we've seen in this game 1 run will not be enough to cut it. You want to try to make sure you have a lot of distance between yourselves and the Corn Dogs heading into the bottom of this inning.
Yeah, plenty of late drama already occurred in the 6th and 7th innings. And now the Oilmen are once again 3 outs away. They were 4 outs away before. The Corn Dogs came within 3 outs as well. And back and forth we go. Here comes the swing and a miss. The count, or the first pitch to Hedrick, and the count 0-1. Just another matchup between the Oilmen and Lake County Corn Dogs. This one coming on a Wednesday night at Legacy Fields. Game 1 of 2 here this evening. Now time called, and backing away is Hedrick. The shadows playing a bit of a factor. The lights have not yet been turned on. I would assume that they will be turned on for game 2. This is a safe bet. 0-1 on Hedrick. Here comes the long set from Tor in the 0-1. Hedrick takes high, 1-1.
It's a good take there by Hedrick, because that one was looping away from him there. He had that big home run in the first inning, had a single since then, but he'd like to try to tack on another RBI in this spot with a runner on third base.
7-6 Oilmen, but they would love an insurance run in the top of this 8th inning. Runners at first and third. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a foul in the count, 1-2. Line score looks like this. The Oilmen, 7 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. Lake County, 6 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. One and two on Hedrick. Drove in the first run of the day with that home run. He'd love to drive in the last right here. Here comes the 1-2. Runner goes, pitch low for a ball, and now trying to score and running right toward the plate, and out easily at the plate is Zarnecki. Robinson had already stole second base. He was running with the pitch, but then Zarnecki cut down as he tries to move up as the ball gets away, and he's out 2 unassisted for the the third out of this inning. So the Oilmen settle for the 1 run. They get it on 2 hits and leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. All right, once again, no, you won't go anywhere. It's the Oilmen 7 and Lake County 6 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
I've never seen ads on top of the roof where it's helping the community.
This place teaches you to be genuine, to be the same person today as you were yesterday. People from Indiana, they're pretty comfortable with who they are. And you know, I think that puts the people around them at ease to be comfortable with who they are.
The values that built Indiana are here in Strachan Van Til. We're Indiana's grocery store, and we're proud to be Indiana made.
These days, it's recommended that you keep your social circle small. Of course, as the original light beer, we've always recommended that. It's Miller time.
Back at Oil City Stadium, back at Legacy Fields. We've both done that tonight. I've called about the last 10 or 11 games I've called have been at Oil City Stadium. Anyway, we take it to the bottom of inning number 8 as the Oilmen try to close this thing out. They lead the Lake County Corn Dogs by a score of 7-6. Matt Ostrowski stays in there, and he is in position for the win if the Oilmen can hold on. Tor would be hit with the defeat should the score hold. But you know nothing's guaranteed, not only in this matchup all season, but the way things have gone tonight have fit right into that category of late inning drama.
This game has just been so unpredictable. It's been back and forth. It's been like riding a roller coaster. The Oilmen and Corn Dogs, you never know what kind of twist or turn is in store next. But Matt Ostrowski just has to try to get 3 outs. His offense was able to help him out. Maybe left 1 run on the table, but you have to just hope that that 1 is enough at this point.
Danny Poplava will step up there. It is 8-9-1. That ball simply, here comes the first pitch. It's ball 1. Simply Zarnecki thought it would get further away from the catcher, Stefanovic.
Yeah, that one was one where he just maybe misread it a little bit, was hoping to take an extra little hop and get away, but he misjudged and was out with a lot of room to spare for that 3rd out.
Lights have been turned on now, by the way. 1 ball and no strikes. This is taken high for a ball 2-1, or high for ball 2-0.
That's something now the outfielders are going to have to take into consideration. You're going to have the sun setting, the lights are turning on. That can make a fly ball trickier.
A few kids playing catch at the ballpark. Nice night for baseball. The 2-0 is high for ball 3, and Ostrowski has missed with 3 straight to Poplava to begin this 8th inning.
Now you're really worrying about the potential for walking the tying run here to lead things off.
Here comes the 3-0. Tying run is on.
That's a good start for the Corn Dogs as you have your 9 spot up now, then the top of the order. This is a dangerous part of their lineup to try to get into this game.
Renko Stefanovic will stand in next. And although he is the 9 hitter, he came in as a pinch hitter and is probably normally in the middle of that lineup when he is in the starting lineup. And now they are going to put Colin Small into pinch run.
Corn Dogs electing for speed here, putting Small on base. So we've seen this a few times where he's a defensive substitution, pinch runner type guy. Just gives them some extra options here on the base paths now.
That is the tying run, and obviously it makes sense in this spot to put speed on the bases. Small is in to run. Stefanovic will stand in. Here comes the set and the first pitch. This is swung on and lifted to right center. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to pick it up, Baker going first to third on the play, Small, and the throw will be cut off. It's a single on the first pitch for Stefanovic. And now the Corn Dogs threaten in the bottom of the 8th in a thriller in Crown Point. 7-6, runners at first and third, nobody out.
That one was just crushed out to the outfield. The first pitch was all he needed to see from Ostrowski, and this puts the Corn Dogs in a really good spot here. Runners on the corners and nobody out.
Now another pinch runner here.
Pinch running, number 7, the cardiac kid, Cal Curiel.
Cal Curiel will come in to run. He's the cardiac kid, we're told, by the way. And now with 2 pinch runners into the game, there's a lot of speed on the bases for Lake County. 7-6 the score, as Gavin Terry, the leadoff man at the top of the order, will stand in.
This is a spot for Ostrowski where you have to think a strikeout would help you out tremendously to get this first out of the inning. You don't want to risk putting a ball in play because of so many factors.
7-6 the score. The Oilmen would trade the tying run for a double play as the middle infield is back in this spot. Gavin Terry stepping up to the plate. Here's a wild pickoff throw, and the game is tied. E1 on Ostrowski, and now thinking about third is going to be Curiel. Here comes the throw to third. He's safe at third on a close play. Adam Enright spikes a water bottle, and he runs out to argue with Andy Pappas. The Corn Dogs have tied the game, and the winning run is at third. Adam Enright is livid with the third base umpire as he thought the Oilmen had him easily at third base as he argues the call. And the Corn Dogs have tied this game at 7, and the winning run is at third with nobody out after a throwing error by Oilman pitcher Matt Ostrowski.
It looks like what Enright is questioning here is that it would appear Marshall used his glove to block the path to the bag, but that was just a play you could not afford to have as things went from bad to worse, as not only the tying run score, but the winning run is now on third base as a result of that error.
And Adam Enright is pleading his case with Andy Pappas as both are gesturing and explaining what they saw from their perspective to one another near third base, as the Corn Dogs are on the precipice of walking this off here with the runner at third and nobody out. And now Mike Clay is going to jog over and move things along.
This is where for the Oilmen where you want to avoid emotions playing a factor here. Where you get frustrated, you have that error, you just need to try to get 3 outs, all with the go-ahead run 90 feet away from home plate. This is a dire situation for the Oilmen, and you can't let it get any worse.
That is a game-changing call there with 1 out and the base is empty in a tie game and a chance to get it to the 9th inning versus no outs and a runner at third, and now there are any number of ways the Corn Dogs can walk it off in the bottom of this 8th and take game 1 of this championship series.
That error was probably the worst thing that could have happened for the Oilmen, and that call, as it seemed like maybe they had a chance to eradicate that error, but then that missed call, maybe a misplay, has put that go-ahead run in dangerous territory.
Seven the score. And Terry's still batting. There's still nobody out in this inning. An errant pickoff throw has tied the game. Some of the fans standing here at Legacy Fields with all the drama. Boy, well, back and forth we have gone. Obviously the infield is in for the Oilmen here. This is taken outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
This is a big spot for the Corn Dogs as you has your top of the order up too with the winning run 90 feet away from home plate.
Curiel, the runner at third. Terry batting with a count of 1-0 from Matt Ostrowski. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's taken off the plate away on the count 2-0.
This is a spot where now with that run being so close to scoring, Ostrowski may be more hesitant to pitch into the zone as he's trying to backdoor a few pitches in to start things off against Terry.
What a fun battle between these two teams to start off the Northern League Championship Series. 7-7 in the bottom of the 8th. There's the 2-0. It's outside, ball 3, 3-0.
Ostrowski just really favoring that spot away from the left-handed hitter, throwing outside in his first 3 pitches.
Now it's 3 balls and no strikes on Terry. And the Oilmen are going to walk him intentionally. They go ahead and put him on base here. The infield's going to have to stay in, though. You can't play for the double play, obviously, with nobody out and the potential winning run at third.
The Oilmen just going to have to do what they can to try to take away that run at the plate. This is a spot where a strikeout would be massive, but you still just have to keep in mind with that runner on third base.
Adam Enright to the mound, and he's going to talk things over with everyone out on the mound with a first and third spot and nobody out, and Noble coming up next.
Doesn't appear that there's anybody up in the pen for the Oilmen, so they're rolling with Ostrowski here. Just need to do what he can to get these outs.
Runners at first and third, nobody out. As we're looking back at that play at third.